You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a host of apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to leave the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello, and welcome to the 119th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined this evening by Ray. Hello, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
And Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
You guys played any Fallout this week?
A little bit. I just got done playing a little bit of Sim Settlements Conqueror tonight.
Oh, yeah. Remind us about that real quick. You told us about that last time.
So it's a revamp of the Sim Settlements game. So it creates a raider storyline, and so you meet a raider on the edge of Concord as you walk in, and he recruits you to take out the rival gang that's in Concord. And if you're, so inclined, you can take out the civilians that are hiding out in the museum too.
Oh, poor
Wow.
Mama Murphy.
So, and it's an interesting mechanic, but it does create a little bit of a problem. So you have to take out Preston first. But when you're fighting Preston, you can't attack any of the other ones, and you get him to a point in his health bar, and the other Marcy and June and oh shoot, what's his dinkle, the mechanic guy, Sturgis, who, as a matter of fact, had a synth component in his inventory when I killed him.
Oh.
But so they start attacking you, and so until you take out Preston, you don't get the mechanic that they put into the game that lets you take out everybody else. So it took a few tries.
That's awesome. I'm glad and sort of surprised. No, I don't. Let me get to the bottom of this. What is it about Fallout 4 that's drawing you back to it?
Essentially just this mod.
You saw that. Was this a Nexus thing, or do you just? Where do you get your mod news?
I had seen a YouTube trailer for it, and so it seemed interesting.
Wonderful. Do we know anything about mods at about 76 yet? Have you heard any had your ear to the rail about that sort of thing?
I'm certainly keeping track of it. The thing is that running mods at this point can get you booted. And
oh gosh, did I hear that before? I don't know that I'd known that. What are they worried about?
Well, their servers are unstable enough as it is. And so they don't want modded games causing more problems.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, people would like slap on God mode and have limitless carry weight and then destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's still kind of tricky because most of the mods are just affecting using INI files to make things happen, because the creation kit hasn't been opened up for it yet. There's a workaround in the Fallout 76 creation kit that you can do, but it's a little bit kludgy at this point. It's not like having a Fallout 76 creation kit.
What was that word? Did you say kludgy?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Just kind of
Like
messy.
Like wonk. I've always thought it meant like
Wonky.
wonky.
Yeah.
That's a good word. I didn't know
That is a good word. How do you spell that?
I'm thinking Yiddish derivation, maybe.
Yeah. Probably KLUGY.
Mm.
I'm thinking there's a D, maybe a KLUDGEY.
Could be.
Okay,
I
I
don't know
just
that
looked
I've
it up.
actually
What do we
seen
want to
it.
put on this bet?
Yeah, we need to take bets. Ray, before we get into feedback and stuff tonight. Oh, we're doing feedback tonight, guys. This is the Fallout feed roundtable feedback episode for quest number 6, An Ounce of Prevention, number 7, Into the Fire, number 8, Missing Link. If you'd like to hear our adventures through these quests, please visit last week's episode. So, Ray, before we get into all of our feedback this evening, I did want to ask if you've been doing any regional cooking or anything recently.
Mhm.
What's the best dish you've made since the new year?
And I was a very terrible sous videer. The 26th was National Sous Vide Day.
Oh my God! I
And
hope
you
you're honored.
missed
Did you
it?
take the day
I
off of
didn't.
work?
I did not sous vide a thing.
You took the day off of work. You sous vide'd some bacon in the morning. You sous vide'd some fried bologna sandwiches for lunch, and sous vide'd a
Ew.
nice pasta dinner, right?
Ugh.
So I did watch a
No.
video of somebody making pasta in the sous vide machine.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I was saying that tongue in cheek, but I guess that would be possible.
yeah.
What about
They
like
just had to add extra water so that the pasta could cook.
what about like peach cobbler?
I've had some peach cobbler that tasted like it might have come out of a sous vide.
A little soggy.
My question, what would be the difference between doing pasta in a sous vide and doing pasta in regular boiling water?
Because usually you do, well, so first off, it would be inside of a bag with the sauce and the
Oh, I
meatballs
see.
and
Oh, I
everything else.
see. You put everything in there, not just the pasta.
Right.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
If you put dry, uncooked pasta into a bag and then put it into the boiling sous vide water, would that work? You have to have the water
Well,
actually.
no, the water has to soak
right?
up the
Yeah,
pasta
wouldn't
has to soak up the water.
It would just be like hot, stiff pasta then, right?
Yeah, you would have to
Toasted.
put some kind of liquid inside the bag with the pasta.
Just a stick of butter, please.
Ugh.
Butter noodles? Come on. Weren't you ever
An entire stick of butter.
Hey, butter
Hey.
sandwiches are a thing.
No, they're not. A butter sandwich?
Of course. There's another podcast that's having this argument, so I don't want to like glom onto their coattails, but so my regional food adventures have been fun this week. It has nothing to do with Indiana actual food, but just what I've been eating for dinner. It was really freaking cold this week, so my wife was asking, "Do you want anything special?" So I was like, "Oh man, I don't know, something really fattening and good, hot." Like, "Oh, make some fried rice." She's really good at making fried rice, so
Oh, yum.
I was like, "Oh, make it with brown rice," because I like brown rice more. It's really hearty. You know what I mean? Like just a big heaping, steaming bowl of fried rice and vegetables and stuff. Really, really good. It sounded like really good. So she made that, and she has a homemade ginger sauce she makes with it. It's really yummy. So that night I had the fried rice and it was delicious. The next night I come home, she's got some pulled pork in the crock pot, which is like really tender falling apart. It's super delicious. So I took the pulled pork and I was like, "Ooh man, I like making like weird tacos at home for some reason." So I got some taco shells and I put the pulled pork in the taco shells and then the fried rice on top of that with the ginger sauce. Oh, it was fucking Asian sing.
Really? Was it super good?
Super good. And I was like, "Oh man, do we have any like kimchi or something?" I needed some sort of like crunchy veggies on there too, but it was
Oh yeah, I bet that would be good.
And then tonight I still had a couple taco shells left over and the pulled pork was left over. The fried rice was all gone. So she's like, she had mac and cheese made. So I was like, I made a taco with pulled pork and mac and cheese. And it was also, I still had ginger sauce left over. So the ginger sauce actually goes super well on the pulled pork. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised by that because, like, Korean and Mongolian barbecue stuff like that. So less a gender on pork.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Mm-hmm.
It's super good. But yeah, that was my regional food adventures this week. Pulled pork
So
goes and stuff.
just because something is in a tortilla that's been folded in half and fried, does it make it a taco? Or is it just,
Well, I mean, you could have a
I
cell
mean-
phone taco, I guess.
And I don't think you actually have to fry it for it to be a taco.
No,
that's true. It could be a soft taco.
Yep.
It's going to taste better if it's fried
I like soft tacos way more. I always
or
get the
warmed.
Yeah.
You need to at least fry it up in just a little bit of oil. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, street
But-
taco.
Yeah, those are so good.
I visited my brother in Sacramento. There's this guy who takes a metal fucking shopping cart, flips it on its side with a propane tank, and that's his
Uh-huh.
grill, It's like, oh my
Oh
god,
yeah,
no ghetto.
I've seen that before.
Those are good tacos, man.
I sometimes it depends, but sometimes the tacos you get out of the taco truck are the best. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course they are. Yeah.
oh, so good. Actually, really any food you can get out of a truck.
Did we
You
bring
know.
up on the show that weird street Mexican corn? Have we
With
brought that up before with the mayonnaise and rolled in chili and I don't even remember what that corn is called. But I've had that out in California visiting my brother too.
Yeah, I am not big on mayonnaise, so I've never had it.
It's weird. Oh, it's okay. It's corn. It's got mayonnaise all around the corn. Then they roll it in Parmesan and then sprinkle chili powder over it, right? And then you get a nice little side cup of all the fresh fruit. You get like mango and guava, and they sprinkle lime juice and chili on top of that. And
Oh, that is the
really good.
best.
Yeah,
That is the
that's really
best. It is the best. Oh, it's so good.
I like that stuff. Yeah, yum. What have you eaten recently? Anything exciting, Sarah?
Oh, no, not really. I need to get back on my meal prep game. I haven't been cooking very much. So, I've just been throwing things in my fridge together to see what I can come up with. Nothing exciting. I wish.
No, I tried a little scorch beast lung the other day. It's good stuff. It's like 400
Yum.
HP regen on that stuff.
Is it really? No.
Crazy. Yeah, no. If go get some of the.
That's not
scorch
something you can actually get. Are you
beast-
making that
yeah,
up?
yeah. No. Go kill some.
Are you
scorch
sure?
beasts. Go kill some scorch beasts. You get like a scorch beast. You get meat. I've gotten lungs. I think there's a brain.
Really?
I'm not sure what else you can get, but there's lots of organs you can get off of them, and then you can cook them all, and they give you. I think all of them give you 400 HP, and
Nice.
then each of them has a different boost buff bonus type thing too. I
I
think.
tell you what, I'll try anything once. I like food.
So that's basically like eating bat.
No, they're fattier than bats.
Aren't scorch beasts just irradiated bats? Am I misunderstanding what they are? What are they?
No, they're obviously irradiated dragons from Skyrim. Come on,
Yeah.
With
scorch
smushed
beasts,
faces.
with smushed faces.
Vile dragons.
But you know what? People eat pigeon.
What? Yeah, they just call it what? Squab? Is that what squab? is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, if you irradiated a bat and it got really big and it had some good, meaty parts to it,
I'm sure there's parts of the world where people do eat bat.
maybe.
Like, I'm sure
mean-
that has to be a thing. Temple of Doom, weren't they eating monkey brains and bats and stuff?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And I make all of my judgment of world cuisine based on Temple of Doom. So
It's not a bad choice there. I will say I did recently listen to a podcast about just bats in general, and they are fascinating creatures.
they're amazing, aren't they?
They are amazing creatures. It gave me so much more respect for bats than I had before. I always used to think they were kind of gross, and now I think they're kind of awesome.
My
So
this is going to sound like an oxymoron, but my fundamentalist Christian geologist boss,
that's a
who
lot of
thinks,
words in one
who,
sentence.
who
Okay.
thinks who a geologist who thinks the world is 5,000 years old, uses the bat as proof that evolution doesn't exist and that God created everything.
Wait. My
I don't
brain is trying to wrap my head around.
It has something to do with, well, how could it learn to eat flying insects if it didn't yet know how to fly? And so that means that it couldn't have developed that skill, and so it had to be created with it. I don't know. I really don't know.
You know.
So here's
Power
the stuff
to
that's
him.
in a scorched beast.
All right, go ahead.
So heart, hide, wing fragment, bones, lung, and brain.
And does it say what do they do different things? Was I right?
Let's see here.
I'll go ahead and get some feedback queued up here too.
Yeah. So so the heart doesn't have anything.
Is it at least some HP, right? If you cook it, I'm sure.
Yeah. You can cook the lung into scorched beast mixed meat stew.
Ooh.
And that gives you 200 HP, plus 1 luck, plus 2 endurance, plus 1 intelligence, and
that's
plus
nice.
1 agility. And it's 34% food and 41% water.
And what else besides the organ itself? Is it just like dirty water and wood, or is it...
So you need a couple of boiled water, pepper, scorched beast brain, scorched beast heart, scorched beast liver, scorched beast lung, scorched beast meat, and wood.
Okay.
All right, so it's impossible to make. All right, move on.
I bet Alex has made it. Alex, where are you?
That jerk's done everything. He need to come on and explain the flux process again. I was taking notes. I was looking at my freaking build menu, looking at all the fluxes that I have to get to build my radiation arc. It is just ridiculous.
Where do you get flux from?
Blast zones, vegetation, but you got to collect. Okay. There's glowing mass, there's hardened mass, and there's like, I don't know, volatile chemical or something like that. There's 3 different things you have to get, and you have to have all of those items ready so that when you go and collect the actual plant material, everything is ready to go and you build it, because the plant material degrades. I think Alex says it degrades quickly. I think it might even degrade more quickly than normal.
Like that would make sense.
So you have to have basically the other stuff kind of ready to go, and then you go into a blast zone, and instead of going to fight all the ghouls and get all the XP like everyone does, you go off tra-la-la-la-la-ing off into the woods looking for glowing plants and stuff.
You go and pick flowers? That sounds like my kind of trip.
Yeah, but you have to go make a bunch of trips first to get all the glowing mass and the hardened mass and the this and that and the other, and have all that stuff ready to go back at your camp. But yeah, there's like some really pretty, so it actually is very pretty, this blue glowing sap that you collect off the side of trees. Yeah. Down in the cranberry bog, you collect some mutated ferns that do, each plant item, they have different things. There's like crimson flux and yellow cake flux and this and that and the other flux, and each plant of course produces its own style or whatever
stuff. So can you make a pretty flux flower arrangement?
I want to make the flux capacitor.
Oh dang, you just went there.
Burn.
Okay.
No, but I need to see if this weekend I can hit a bunch of rad zones. Today I joined Alex. I fast traveled to him and without getting prepared or thinking beforehand, and I traveled right into, he was in the middle of a rad zone.
Oh no.
I was like, oh God, my hazmat suit, throw that shit on real quick. And I threw it on, or no, I tried to throw it on, and the computer was like, no, you cannot equip a
No.
broken item. I was like, no. And I sat there and died and then reloaded. But I was so irradiated that I didn't have much life left. So I like died a few times before I like stopped the horrible reload cycle and managed to
Oh
fast
my
travel back to
gosh.
the camp to repair my hazmat suit. It was terrible.
That sounds terrible. I need to go to one of these blast zones one of these days.
Oh, you haven't been? You
No,
certainly
I'm
must go.
so behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even picked up my hazmat suit.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ray, we need to get on this, man.
Yeah, I've been slacking.
I've
Yeah,
got
me
3 of
too.
them, but they keep breaking because everyone else wears power armor, and I just show up in my hazmat suit. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing?
They'll laugh at you hysterically.
They do. They're all like level 200 guys, and they're like pointing at me in my little hazmat suit.
They just pat your head and walk on by.
Look at this cute little guy in his weird ritual mask. He looks like some sort of a Christmas demon. What are you doing, cute little
Christmas
guy?
demon.
Yeah. All right. Lee sent in some feedback, so we'll say thank you to Lee. Hi, Lee.
Greetings, Fallout Feed guys and gals. This is Lee Benjamin with Responder's Dream. Loner made it to an investigated Morgantown airport, the Responders' headquarters. Here she found out about the fire breathers from Chavez, Melody, and Madigan, who organized them. This was a group given priority for rations and ammunition to fight the Scorched. The Scorched were the red men and women with green crystalline lesions on their skin. At first they seemed like zombies, but they made good use of weapons. Their strange speech talked of us, like they were a cult or something. She had to fight her way through many of them and learned about an inoculation program started by Dr. Hudson. Heading south, Loner saw the Scorched in increasing numbers. As her rations depleted, she started harvesting food along the way. There was corn and a strange mutated fruit to eat. She found the medical plant bloodleaf along the river. She also found large mutated crabs whose shells were tough, but their faces were vulnerable. Just as she'd seen in Flatwoods, she noticed voting stations outside of Somerville. From her study of the local maps from before the war, she remembered a military camp, Camp McClintock, and thought it might be a good source of ammunition. She found the overseer had also been there and suggested she take the automated training course, which she did. After learning to run through obstacles, shoot, and detect commie sympathizers, she got her certificate to be a private in the United States Army. Even if the government didn't survive the Great War, at least the idea of that great nation survived. After her training, she needed to reduce her load, and there were no workbenches in the camp, so she left the army post and went southeast to the lakeside cabins, where she found a tinker's workbench. She then went southwest to Wade Airport. Skirting the edge of the airport, she headed to AVR Medical Center in Charleston, where Dr. Hudson had done her research. Along the way, she saw more of the Scorched and the super mutants. These were big green guys with muscles and guns. She found that her scoped .44 Magnum could handle them if she didn't run out of bullets. She also stumbled across the Hornwright Industrial Headquarters, where she read about something called the Motherlode Project. She'd have to learn more about that later. Searching the nearby AVR Medical Center, Loner found Dr. Claire Hudson's lab in the basement and found a terminal with notes saying that the vaccine was too late. It was almost ready, but still needed some blood samples and a fuse to complete the research. Her next task was to find a ghoul, a mole rat, and a wolf, all creatures which had adapted to the radiation and not succumbed to the Scorched virus. Searching the local area, she found all of these creatures and got the samples she needed. She had to sneak around a junkyard to avoid something that looked like miners in heavy gear. Their low grumbles somehow chilled her. Now to find a Type T fuse. The terminal had given a possible location at Greg's Mine Supply. It was a far bit north, but her camp was along the way and gave her a chance to store her junk and repair and improve her weapons. She continued north. Along the way, she saw more Scorched. Sneaking up to Greg's Mine Supply, Loner was able to snipe several Scorched outside the building and make her way inside. Here she found, in addition to more Scorched, the Type T fuse. Out back, she found a workshop with adhesive and a workbench, which allowed her to repair the rest of her weapons. She headed back to her camp for a good night's rest. Returning to the AVR Medical Center the next day, Loner found that the Scorched had returned and had to be dealt with. Finally, making it back to the medical lab in the basement, she loaded the blood samples into the separator and ran the analysis on the terminal. It was a success. The cylindrical chamber, called asymptomatic, was automatically set up to give her the inoculation to protect her from the scorched disease. This triggered a holotape from Dr. Hudson, which congratulated her for finishing the research and told her that the fire breathers division of the responders were key to the fight against the scorched and that she should try to contact them at the Charleston Fire Department. Loner spent some time at her cabin near Helvetia, then went out to gather resources. South of Vault 76, she found some haunted cabins. She really didn't believe in such things, or did she? There were distant screams, pictures on the walls rotated and doors slammed, tremors hit. There were a few feral ghouls that attacked her on sight. Very strange. She also found a holotape to Rita the fire breather from a man who clearly cared for her, but didn't give his name. Further west, she found a hunter's camp with more of the scorched. Overall, a good day collecting resources that would serve her well in the coming days. After a good night's sleep, Loner headed back to Charleston, found the fire breathers' headquarters at the North Charleston Fire Department, and again, the overseer had been there too. Her tape said that the fire breathers must have fought up close with the scorched, and it would help to know all they knew about them. A Protectron firefighter told her that there were training terminals inside where she could learn about the responders' elite fire breathers and how to become one. On the second floor, she found Vendorbot Mac at the trading post. He had some useful things in his inventory and would buy most anything. She also found training materials scattered about that told her about signaling methods, rudimentary tactics against the humans infected with the scorched virus, and the huge scorch beasts which attacked with radiation and a powerful bite. The training materials were great, but a picture would have been helpful. Both of these creatures are assumed to be hostile and can spread the disease. A master terminal spoke of the directors, Melody Larkin and Hank Madigan, who could authorize access. There were 3 parts to the training. She took the knowledge test. She had found most of the answers in the training except for a particular disease cure. All of the choices used now common ingredients, but she had never heard of some of them. She guessed, and luckily got it right. Next, for the physical exam. She imagined going back to the AVR Medical Center, but the marker added to her Pip-Boy sent her to the Charleston Herald. How odd. Outside the fire station, she found a super mutant, but instead of attacking her, this one was talking about trading and traveling with a Brahmin that he called Chally the Moo Moo. He appreciated a good trade and had a varied inventory. She continued to the physical exam. Near a bridge along the way, Loner saw some scorched fighting with a thing. It was pink and had 6 legs and a mouthful of teeth. Like the scorched, this strange beast was best engaged at range with her .308 hunting rifle. There seemed to be scorched and feral ghouls everywhere, but she finally made it to the Charleston Herald building. Here, what she thought was going to be a physical exam turned out to be an obstacle course, running from the Herald to the Capitol building and back within 3 minutes. She didn't make it the first time, but after unloading some junk, she made it easily. When she checked back into the terminal, she learned that the traditional final exam had been replaced by an actual fire breather's mission. She was to report to the robot Bernie at the Belching Betty mine. Her Pip-Boy provided the location. At the mine, Loner was given a fire breather's helmet and overcoat by Bernie and told to go into the mine to activate an emergency beacon. There were lots of scorched in the mine, along with poisonous gases and fire pits. Lovely. Thank God for the equipment that Bernie had given her. Unfortunately, she also found many of the responders who she'd seen mentioned in the training materials. All of them were dead. Once she had activated the beacon and returned to the surface, Bernie told her congratulations and gave her holotape made by Lieutenant Hank Madigan. To make her training official, she had to get back to the fire station. She was sure to avoid the shops just south of the mine, where there were several Mr. Gutsy strike breakers, which were a grim reminder of how heavy-handed the local mining companies had become before the war. Back at the fire station, the master terminal recognized her trainee status, and Loner was granted basic information access and found out there was a priority message available to her on another terminal in the same room as the trading post. Along with 800,000 incoming emergency calls was a single priority message from Lieutenant Madigan, asking the fire breathers to send their best people and guns to the top of the world. Loner knew from her studies that the top of the world was a tourist attraction near the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort, whatever tourists were. Rose, a half-crazed drug-eat raider, first came to Loner's attention as a garbled broadcast where she was appealing for others to come and help her with something. This knowledge did very little to prepare her for Raider Rose and the task she was put through before she would get any real information on Lieutenant Madigan's fate. Lorna has found a purpose in this battle against the Scorched. It is my pleasure to tell her story. I'll see you in the wasteland.
So this top of the world thing, you guys, that's a real place in West Virginia?
I don't know. Is it?
I mean, it must be. Most of the places they put in these games are at least based on something, generally. I don't know. I've only driven through like that little tiny piece of West Virginia that sticks up in between Ohio and Pennsylvania along the highway Interstate 70. That turns into the Pennsylvania Turnpike shortly after you cross into the border there. So I don't know. I guess I'm going through Wheeling. It's really all I've seen. I haven't really done the Morgantown and
According to Dr. Google, Top of the World is a 3-star hotel in Snowshoe, West Virginia. But it doesn't look anything like, the actual Top of the World in the game.
Yeah. Is it like a ski resort or something?
That's what it looks like to me.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
So somebody should definitely build the Top of the World because that thing is pretty cool.
Oh goodness. Well, who knows? Evidently the tourism industry has seen an uptick since the release of the game over there in West Virginia. So
hey, there you go.
you know how like in New Mexico, like Breaking Bad tours,
right?
Up in Albuquerque or whatever. Yeah,
I would be down to go tour West Virginia.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned there was one in Boston for Fallout 4. There was like a tour you could take or something.
I am 100% on board. As a matter of fact, I actually told somebody like in real life, and it wasn't even somebody that knew me well. I think it was like somebody that I met at work. They're like, oh yeah, I really love going to Boston. Boston's one of my favorite places. And I'm like, yeah, I spent a ton of time in Boston. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, on Fallout 4. They did not think it was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, what do they know?
Lots of time in the desert. Over there in so I was thinking the tour for New Vegas would probably be a lot different. A little more spread out. That
A
one.
little bit.
God, that's a bus tour. Like trekking across the desert instead of a nice little
Totally.
city get on a 2-person sort of cute little push pedal thing, go around the city. So Lee also mentioned Helvetia. Is that how we're saying it? Is that
Helvetica.
Helvetica.
I'm going to feel bad. I don't know if Helvetia is an actual city.
Helvetia.
Helvetia.
We should ask Sarah. It's Appalachia, so why not Helvetia?
Helvetia.
Helvetia. I don't know. You got to talk like there's molasses dripping out of your mouth.
The 59 people that live there will be offended.
59?
Are there 59?
Yeah, 59 people live there.
Oh,
That's
you
amazing.
guys, let's go.
Yeah. Gosh, they need some tourism boom, I bet.
Yeah. And did we decide that it was Swedish? What did we decide?
But what?
The name.
It is Swiss.
Swiss.
Nice.
Okay,
Good.
that's awesome.
The isolated community was settled by the Swiss starting in 1869.
That is super cool. And I believe when you go through that town in the game, aren't they celebrating something?
I don't know. I haven't actually spent much time there.
Oh.
Is there a
Trying to
Swiss
kill 'em all.
parade or something?
No,
Is
they're having their I
cheese
mean,
off there?
obviously the Scorched are not having a party, but there was a party happening when the bombs fell or when everyone met their untimely end.
Yeah, bombs didn't fall here though.
Oh, you're right. Well, whenever everybody,
Turned into Scorch when the virus hit or whatever.
whenever,
Yeah. What
So- Helvetica Day is a Saturday near October 20th.
Oh, snap.
So they were
Now you're talking
celebrating they were celebrating Helvetica Day.
No, well, I mean, yes, maybe, but it's like,
Okay.
it
Are you
starts with an
saying,
F.
are you saying Helvetica on purpose?
No, I'm saying Helvetica on purpose.
Okay.
It's Helvetia.
Now I'm confused.
So, but there's also the Bliss Fest, which is
I
June
think I saw
24th, the 26th
I think I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers there back in '94.
Really?
at Bliss Fest.
Of course not. Come on. He also mentioned Graham. You guys run into Graham yet?
Oh yeah, the super
Yes.
vendor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I've run into him like 4 or 5 times now. Everyone's always really impressed with Graham, and everyone rushes over. Oh, Graham's here, let's go get him, go get his stuff. He never has anything I want to buy.
No,
He's just
Come on, man.
cool.
He needs a legendary item in his stash. If he had like a guaranteed random legendary item drop, I would seek him out all the damn time, you know?
no. And Lee mentioned Fort McClintock, which is a fun little quest.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the agility stuff, right?
Yeah, it's where you go through the military training, so
military
you can
training, yeah.
become a private.
The shooting and the balancing on all the fucking beams and the communism truth test or something. Is that,
Yeah,
what was the third one? You had to suss out a little boy or something? What were you doing?
you have to be able to identify the hostiles.
Got to find the commie red.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've done that once. The shooting took me forever. I did it 1 billion times. And I couldn't do it.
I
get to that
failed it so
later
many
in the
times.
season. Yeah. Well, that's something where actually is on our schedule, I believe, later in the season.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we'll get to run through that. It's a couple of exploits that I've heard about online that we'll talk about then.
So, hold real quick. Phil
Yeah.
said, "Fast." Can somebody please pronounce this word? Fastnacht is the celebration that they're having in Helvetia.
Fasnacht.
It's Fasnacht.
Yeah. Fasnacht. Yeah, that's that must be
Fastnacht. I
it's
don't know.
German because I took High German, and we call it German, but it's in Germanic languages it's called High German, and so it's similar. It would mean like feast night is what that would
Oh.
usually translate into.
Well, there you go.
Something similar to that.
The last Saturday before Lent.
Yeah. Oh, so that makes sense. Yeah, before you have to give something up, you're going to go out and, if they're in a German-speaking country, probably just drink a ton at the festival and eat a lot of pork products.
There's a lot of beer around. So if you go into that little, it's like a dining hall in Helvetia. There's a whole bunch of like big beer goblets and beer everywhere. Yeah. How have you not been in there?
I think I might have been. Is that where I found my accordion? I found an accordion. Would there have been polka music going on and stuff?
I do not know.
And I was very upset that it was not a constructible, buildable instrument, that it could only be scrapped. I was devastated. I was so excited that I was going to be able to play a few, chords on the accordion. That would have been awesome. They really missed an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we better shove along. We're already way behind schedule. I'm sorry.
Shocker.
Ian. Yeah, gosh. Ian, thanks for sending
Dearest
this.
unknown finders of this tale, greetings. I found a strange terminal. File name, The Legend of Fuck. There's some damaged holotapes here that I'm still working on restoring, but this terminal contained what looks like the second chapter of this unknown wanderer's tale. I'm going to read it out to you so I can add to the holotape record that's already been started using this and whatever other terminal entries I can find. You must know that fuck is a helper. He got his title by showing up when people in trouble call on his name. Oh, fuck! Yes, the strange vault bot said it first, with downright menacing friendliness, as he exited the unusual familiarity of the vault apartment in which he woke without memory of what had just been happening. A dream amnesia that somehow felt like a hangover, made something a lot more fun than alcohol. But he didn't see any empty containers around, though. Suspicion began right then and only grew as he found the impossibly resetting Pip-Boy and all the other oddities about this place. But hearing his name was also a repeat occurrence, and so he began to feel essential as a helper in the wastes. Everyone seemed to know how to summon him. It may have been the wrong dimension, but Fuck certainly felt that he had been brought there on purpose to serve a specific function. Although it would have been swell if he could remember what that function was exactly. He ventured back to Flatwoods after meeting the bag-worshipping cult. His supply of Nuka grape had finally grown sufficient to fuel the adventure ahead. There he found a tape about a boy named Colonel, and he stopped to shed some tears for being too late to have helped him, to have shown him that he was important, and if his father wouldn't forgive the prior mistakes, that's not on yourself, it's on father. Sense of purpose grew as he continued to glean info from the responder terminals and tapes, testing water and cooking ribeye according to their religious leaders' instructions in further honor of the fallen. Their deaths can't have been for nothing, thought Fuck. I am going to learn how to make this right or die trying. He sat boiling the huge amount of water for future use, sipping Nuka grape and chewing the tough radiated meat, contemplating the gravity of his mission there. He decided against venturing to the airport because there was a huge flying monster that didn't seem like a hostile, but it had somehow called a swarm of decrepit orange people with shotguns and pitchforks he didn't feel like bloodying his chainsaws for. There just wasn't enough useful supplies left there to justify using up his .44 ammo and his chainsaw's sharpness. Shortly out of the vault, squinting in the weird warmth of sunlight against his migraine from the hangover, he had found 2 immaculately kept chainsaws and the pistol with a scope, the name Somerset Special engraved underneath the barrel, in a duffel bag in the moonshiner's shack just a little below the vault exit, as well as a sizable stash of useful steel, lead, and ballistic fiber scraps. Now he just needed to find some oil so he could make the rest of the explosives he was going to need to be prepared for the upcoming, as yet unknown tasks. End of tape.
He mentioned the Somerset Special. That's one that I've actually picked up too. Do you guys have any favorite named weapons that you've run across in the game so far? Ray, you're doing baseball bats. Have you looked into it? Are there any like cool individual named ones? You know what I mean? Uh-oh. We'll lose Ray.
Maybe.
Lost me to the mute button.
Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
No, I haven't seen anything on any baseball bats with legendary.
And so you were are you rifles? What are you doing? I forget.
I'm doing shotguns and sniper rifles, but I don't have a named one of either yet.
Yeah. Have you come across legendaries? Evidently there's some problems with legendary drops since the new patch. And Ray, have you looked into those patch notes? We'll have to dig into that a little bit later too.
Yeah, I read through them earlier.
Nice. We'll check back in to get a couple of highlights from you here in a little bit. Chainsaws. He mentioned chainsaws. I picked one up, ran around with it for a little bit. I found it almost useless. Have you guys found the chainsaws yet?
I found one, but I think Phil picked it up. I can't remember. Phil, did you get the chainsaw? I haven't used it.
And I found it made for some cool like photo opportunities, but
Yeah.
doesn't it's not like the little handheld chainsaw from Fallout 4, the Ripper or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever those things are. Those were great.
Mm-hmm.
I
Those are
expected
great.
it to be like that, and it wasn't quite that. I don't know. I was
Right.
disappointed. Maybe I'm not using it right. Maybe I need to. Maybe I didn't have any perk cards or the right stuff loaded or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I got one. I had gotten it off of a bloated ghoul from the White Springs golf course.
Hmm.
I think, a level 15 at the time, and it was a level 40 Ripper.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's also one of my least favorite things about, they give you these. Well, I got the false impression that these chainsaws were going to be awesome because, much like Ray, the first chainsaw I found, I was much lower than the chainsaw itself, so I was expecting it to be this really awesome thing that when I could finally, use the chainsaw,
Mm-hmm.
I had other things that were way fucking better. It was just really disappointing. I don't know. It's again, maybe I could just be messing it up. I could be.
Yeah. Phil says you can add fire to it.
Ooh, burn, burn, burn.
So
He also mentioned the bag worshiping cult. What was that? Is that the Mothman cult people?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or maybe just all the players in the game.
Could be
Ah,
running around searching for the Mothman.
could be.
Or the paper bag full of all their junk.
Yeah, the
That
bag
too.
worshiping cult. They're the death bag. There you go. That's
Death
what
bag.
Yep, good call. Ian, thank you for your feedback, sir. Please keep them coming in. We're enjoying the legendary adventures of Fuck. Let's go ahead and check in with Clint. Hi, Clint.
G'day, this is Clint from Brisbane. So last instalment, Gardner had completed final departure and learned that there was a possibility for an inoculation against scorch mutations. That sounded like a good idea. It's seeming that her dream of quietly farming in the west of Appalachia will have to be put on hold until this scorched problem is sorted. So she travelled to the AVR Medical Centre near a town called Charleston. This had apparently been a thriving community, but was now completely devastated by what looked like it was a flood. However, the medical facility was still standing, so in she went. The place was full of the scorch beans, which she eventually managed to mostly dispatch. Down in the basement, she found Dr. Hudson's research and found she'd need a few blood samples to complete the testing. Now, luckily, just outside the facility, she came across a ghoul who kindly obliged a sample. Well, there was the necessary expedient of killing it first. She already knew where some mole rats regularly lived, so their blood was very soon available. Now to find some wolves. The Pip-Boy was helpful here and showed an area they may be located. Sure enough, she was soon in a desperate battle with several of the savage beasts. Luckily, she won and obtained the necessary third sample. On returning to the lab, Gardner discovered she needs a special Type T fuse to be replaced in the wall unit. The fuse is apparently at a place called Greg's Mine Supplies. Took a while to get there and once again dispatched several scorched before discovering a tunnel which ran under the town, giving access to the supply shop. With the fuse in tow, it was a quick trip back to the lab to complete the analysis, and then she hesitatingly hopped into a machine which poked her in lots of places with needles. Ouch! So the next task was to become a firefighter, scarily in this land called a fire breather. That doesn't sound good. But it was off to the Charleston Fire Department, where she found some friendly protectrons and an exam to sit. It took a couple of goes, but the answers were mostly common sense. A physical test was next, which looked like it ran through some very rough parts of town. So she decided to walk it first and came across plenty of baddies. After most of them were out of the way, the run was relatively easy. Just follow the arrows and dodge the occasional bullet. The next part was a lot more difficult. Gardner was directed to go to a nearby mine, ominously called Belching Betty, which was in very bad shape indeed. She met with a protecton called Bernie, that was fitting, who organised a firefighter's outfit complete with helmet and breather and a training 10mm pistol, which apparently did extra damage to the Scorched. Then she was directed to run down into the mine and find... G'day, this is Clint from Brisbane. Obtained the necessary... With the fuse in tow, it was a quick trip back to the Charleston Fire Department, where she found some friendly protectrons and an exam to sit. Run was relatively easy. Just follow the arrows and dodge the occasional bullet. Beacon. She was to set off the beacon and then come back up. That sounded easy enough. Of course it wasn't. In the mine there were lots more Scorched, and the 10mm took way too many shots to kill them. So Gardner quickly switched to a trusty short hunting rifle and went to work. She made her way down through the fiery tunnel and some stairs to eventually find a control panel and hit that button. Well, immediately a whole mess of Scorched came from everywhere and attacked. Gardner decided that discretion was the better part and ran. Back up the stairs, knocking a few Scorched over in a haste. She was worried they may chase her, but they seemed to give up once she made some ground. But she kept running all the way to the exit. Back out in the bunker, Bernie congratulated her, and then she returned to the fire department and registered as a bona fide fire breather. On registering, however, there was an emergency message from someone called Madigan, who had apparently discovered something important at the top of the world, and he needed to go there to find out more. Sadly, it's looking more and more like Gardner's dreams of running a nice little farm beside the Ohio River is being pushed further down the to-do list. In other news, it seems Gardner's mother, Cecilia, is having a great time elsewhere in Appalachia, having adventures with that PC group. Gardner might have to look them up, as it's becoming increasingly obvious that she will not be able to complete these tasks on her own and may need some help. So hopefully, Gardner will see you in the wasteland.
Those PC folks having such a good time. Have you actually played with Clint, Sarah? Is he
Heck yes.
Is he up at like, I don't know, 2 days from now when you guys are playing? Wait. He like works opposite hours or something, right? So it works out well.
I think so. I actually don't know the answer to that, except that he is on when we're on, and he's super fun to play with.
That's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, so it's been good times. And I'm not sure. I know that New Zealand is 3 hours behind me, but tomorrow. But I don't think that he's in quite the same time zone.
He's in the future somewhere.
He's in the future somewhere.
Future
Clint.
Tomorrow, but 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So 6 for me. Count it up. Carry the 7. I am. When I have to meet up with anyone from Australia or even just London for that matter, or the UK in general, I have that app on my phone that's just on the clock. It has like the world clock. And it lets you set a couple of different cities. So I have one set for Wellington. I have one set for London. I have one set for not Brisbane. What would it be in Australia? Not Perth. Gosh, I don't know. One of the cities in Australia. But it's just funny. So it's like, okay, let's go ahead and organize this project, and it's going to be okay. We need to list 6 different time zones because so everyone can know what's going on. And oh gosh.
So Phil just said that Clint is 21 hours ahead of the West Coast, so he's the same time zone as Steve is.
Exactly what you said. It's tomorrow minus 3 hours.
Yeah, that's how Steve explained it to me, and it has been so easy to figure out what time it is over there since then.
That's a lot easier.
I can't tell you what time it is in like Ohio, but I can tell you what time it is in New Zealand.
And Hobbit time, right?
Hobbit time.
Yeah.
In the Shire. It is 5 o'clock.
I'm sure they're super sick of that. You know what
They
I mean?
probably
Like,
are.
they roll their eyes so hard, like,
I
God,
know.
stupid Americans.
And you know
They
what?
come here, they come to our country, they stomp around and they're loud, and then they fucking just all they want to do is see the fucking Shire. Oh, take off your shoes, show me your big feet and your pointy ears, little New Zealand elves. You know, they're like stupid Americans come here and just ruin our beautiful country. So I'm sure they
I'm
hate.
sure. I'm
Sure
sure
they-
it's such a beautiful country. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, my wife and I do too, but
Yeah.
so we can see the Shire. Isn't that so sad? We're terrible. Well, Clint, we apologize.
Oh,
for
no.
all Americans.
Clint is 18 hours ahead of California. New Zealand's 21.
Oh,
21, 20, 19, 18.
Clint-
That's 3. Okay.
where's Clint? Is Clint in Australia?
He is in
And
Queensland. Yes.
Queensland.
Well,
That is
Brisbane.
Brisbane. That's what it said. And Clint's in Australia, and Steve is in New Zealand, which is even
Correct.
further. Oh gosh. So, meeting up with
Geography,
these
man.
guys. Yeah, no, but I'm glad you guys get to play together. That's really fun. Clint,
It
that's
is really
awesome.
fun.
I'm really enjoying your feedback. Please keep it coming, sir. Really good stuff. Next up, we have Leon. Thank you, Leon, sir, for sending us some more feedback. Let's hear from Daryl. Good day, Daryl.
Daryl's Diary, Entry 4. I can't decide if these responders were geniuses or morons. They managed to get the hospital that they almost were able to complete a cure for being scorched. This Dr. Hudson, she got close, but she needed some more samples. Of course, she died before she could get those samples. But she was smart enough to leave this whole automated system to complete these samples so that then they could make a cure. But yet they can't boil water without being taught. Whatever. So I made it to AVR Medical Center in Charleston. And there was down in the basement a lab of some sort. You needed, there was an automated system that Dr. Hudson left. Luckily, one of the things she needed a fuse I had already picked up at some supply store. I don't even remember. It looked cool, unusual. I was going to scrap it and maybe make something with it, but it worked out. I don't think I'm the only one that's done this, though. And whoever's done it before me sabotaged it again because I've seen several destroyed fuses. So I may not be the only one that's immune to being scorched now. I wonder this what did she call it? Symptomatic or something like that? Yeah, symptomatic, he said. I wonder if I could get the vaccine and maybe put it in a syringer. What would happen if you shot a scorched with that vaccine? I wonder. Would it kill them? Would it cure them? Would they remember and maybe be able to tell me more about what's going on? I wonder. Huh. It's a neat thought, but I don't know any way to actually get the vaccine out of the syringer. So, sorry, the symptomatic and put it in the syringer. I have to table that. Just in case, though, I went ahead and removed my T fuse as well. Anybody else from 76 comes here, well, they're all assholes anyway, so screw them. I actually like Mr. Marie being a different. I like him. He's pretty cool, but he's always got that outsider vibe. Anyways, if you, I made the cure, I guess you'd say, and then another automated system. What's with all the automated systems? Is everybody in West Virginia before the war a freaking computer genius? What's going on here? Anyways, I'm myself into a holotape. Yay. So I'm supposed to take the cure to the fire breathers. Guess I'm gonna be dead. Daryl's diary. Yep. Because everybody's dead. Or turns to scorched. So I went through the procedure of joining the fire breathers automated systems once again. Hooray for our side. People can program, apparently. And I became a fire breather. I answered their questions, got the gear, talked to the robot, went to the Belching Betty. The fire breathers are morons. What kind of final exam winds up killing all the people that take it? No wonder the responders are all dead. They're all morons. I've officially decided they're all idiots. Dr. Hudson being possibly an exception. They're all idiots. They deserve to be dead. It's simple as that. Going into that mine is... I barely made it out. And it's like no big deal. Oh, yay. Although they did have some neat... I'm going to... They have some sort of mineral that seems to work well against the scorch if you put it in a barrel. What did they call it? Ultralight. That's what it was. Make a barrel for something. Maybe a 10 millimeter or something. I think I've got an auto pistol. And once I get down there, I'm officially a fire breather, and that's it. Nothing. So the only clue I got is a few things that I picked up here and there on holotapes. There was something from Madigan about maybe being like the scorch. I'd only be dead too. But maybe I can find it there. Know that some 76 are out now. The others actually not a new warning. Are people looking next? I know the overseer talked about it. She doing it. Did she find out something with the scorch? I don't know. For whatever reason, they seem to hit, of course, the resort. Oh, hit the resort. I'm avoiding that area, though. I saw one in the distance, but I'm not going to get close. Not until I know more of what's going on.
Why would they hit the resort? That's funny. He's talking about, the things that sort of as you treat the game as sort of like a repetitive MMO. There's certain cycles you go through. You hit this place, you hit that place, you do this stuff. He's working that in to his story, which I think is pretty funny. That's a good deal. Let's see. Leon mentioned
responders were morons because they're killing everybody. I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, why would you send people down there?
Yeah.
They're all dying. That's just their
ultimate
final
test.
project.
It's like the Running Man test or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could live the test.
Yeah. Hey, if you live, you can go get killed by a scorch beast. Congrats.
You can be in our club if you live.
Yeah.
Survive. Good luck. Yeah, that's true. Good. Why would you try to kill the people getting into your group? Also, I had an awesome thought. What happened if you took the vaccine and put it in a syringe and shot a scorched with it? Would they go back to human? Would it kill them? What would happen?
Might end up with a follower.
We're about to find out. Oh, a follower.
Oh, you
Yes, please.
just piqued his interest.
I'll take one. Thank you. I need a
Everyone in the
robot. I
game
need a
is
dog.
your follower.
A robot and a dog, please. Right now. And everybody else, it's fine to have the humans too. I love the teaming.
Yeah.
It's worth. Or someone similar, you know.
Did you guys see that Phil
Gives
went
me-
and found the one dog that wasn't like a radiated dog?
Yeah, someone mentioned that in the group. Was that Phil?
I think it was.
Tell us a
I
little bit
might have
about
been Phil.
there's a weird non-radiated dog or something.
Apparently, according to his post, and if it wasn't Phil, I am so sorry. It was the dog to two campers up in the. I don't know if it's the Savage Divide, but it's somewhere up in the mountains. And apparently it's there and it just chills. And apparently there are people that have like specifically set up their camps up there to like protect the dog.
Why do fucking griefers come out by and kill the dog? Bunch of
don't know.
assholes.
Is it killable? I don't know.
You heard our recent griefing issues. A lot of people have been getting their camps destroyed for no apparent reason.
Ugh. Don't be jerks, people.
I don't think anyone in our group is going to do anything like that, but you know,
No.
people love to run around and cause shit. So we got to have a plan. Everybody in the group, of course. You know, what advice do we have if you can't fight them off and they're destroying your camp? Well, the one thing is you have to fucking be there in order to catch them do it, because the warning is so fucking like small and unnoticeable. If you happen to be in the middle of battle or doing anything interesting, you're not even going to notice the warning. Hey, your camp is under attack.
Ugh.
Well, first of all, they need to give you like a warning, like a big red. Your pit boy needs to start like
Yeah.
flashing strobe lights or something.
With
You
an
know, like,
alarm.
you know, yeah, exactly. An alarm of some sort would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get back there, and not even to get back there and fight, because most of the time it's going to be some griefer who's level 700 wearing some ridiculous demon power armor or something.
Right.
So, you know, what you really want to do is just, okay, your camp is under attack. Okay, so alarm goes off. I'm hopping servers immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Totally.
leave the server.
Totally.
That's the best thing I can do. I don't know what else. If you guys have any better advice, I'm just telling everyone, if that happens to you and you notice that you get the signal that your camp is under attack, just bail on the server. Fuck it. You know, it sucks if your extractors are set up at workshops and all that. I mean, that stinks that you have to do that again, but is it worth rebuilding your camp?
Yeah.
I've also heard other advice from people that if you just move the actual camp, its location, it will repair what has been damaged automatically without taking your resources. I believe someone said that. So try that as well if that has become a problem. And I've seen like 2 or 3 people in the group say that that's become a problem. So that sucks that that's starting to become an issue. Let's hope it doesn't become a plague.
Yeah.
Right on, Leon. Thank you for your feedback, sir. Let's keep this show moving with Will. Hi, Will.
Will here with another recording from my cousin over in Nordhagen Beach. I'm still enjoying Hazel's camp, so here's the next journal entry from Hayes. Don't call me Hazel Green. Date, not October 23rd, 2102. Considering my camp is tucked away in the forest of a world that's almost completely void of living people, I sure do get a lot of random visitors. This most recent time, I was repairing my armor when a person appeared at my door requesting a trade. I politely told him my camp is brand new and I have nothing of value to offer. The stranger then dropped some supplies on the ground and went on about his day. I'm dumbstruck by the kindness of all these people in such a harsh, violent world. These encounters are making me feel more and more that I made the right decision by joining the responders. I needed to start my fire breathers training stat. First, I had to head to AVR Medical to see if I can dig up any info on this rumored inoculation breakthrough. The building was infested with scorched, and I used up all my energy rounds clearing them out. I love my laser pistol, but it doesn't seem to be very powerful. I do have a pretty good science background. Maybe I can use that to tinker with it and make some improvements. Claire Hudson's lab showed she had in fact made a breakthrough, though she wasn't there. It seems her project had stalled, so she went back to Morgantown Airport to help her friends. This, while noble, seemed short-sighted to me. Noble versus Nobel. I had to finish her work, first by collecting a blood sample from a ghoul, a wolf, and a mole rat, all of which were resistant to the scorched plague. Easy enough. Can't go 6 feet without being attacked by one of those. More difficult, and the reason her work had stalled, would be finding a Type T fuse. My best bet was Greg's mining supply. Greg must have really loved mining, because there was a tunnel from the basement of his house across the street to his shop where, what do you know, one Type T fuse. Back to the lab, some quick sciencey magic, a few minutes inside what felt like a medieval Iron Maiden, and Claire's Nobel Prize was mine. Well, at least it was. And thank God. I didn't want to end up as one of those petrified corpses, or worse, one of the scorched. The inoculation was intended to go to the fire breathers first, so I went to their headquarters to make myself legal. At Charleston Fire Department, I found the overseer had once again preceded me, leaving another supply cache. I'm thankful for the supplies she's been leaving behind, but what the hell am I supposed to do with all this canned dog food she keeps leaving? We didn't have any dogs in the vault, and I tried giving it to the wild dogs I've seen, but they didn't want to eat the food. They wanted to eat me. I could throw the cans at their head, maybe. I can't think of anything else to do with it. Anyways, a training terminal was set up in the abandoned station. The first part of training was a written test that was mostly common sense. The second part was an obstacle course through downtown Charleston. On my first attempt, I forgot to hit the relay button. On my second try, I spent too much time defending myself from these big, green, super mutated creatures. But on my third attempt, I made it with over a minute to spare. The terminal said I was being switched to a much more difficult live fire trial. Electing to catch a breather and resupply before endeavoring into something too risky, I started out on some side tasks I had been wanting to do. One of those was following the overseer's personal journey. I was beginning to appreciate a side of her no one had seen before, and I wanted to learn more. So to do something safer, I went to Welch, where I died. Or should have. Just outside the supply station there, I got in over my head with some more of those super mutants like I had seen in Charleston, only these were much tougher. There I was, slumped over on the ground, too weak to move, all light and sound fading to nothing. Then I felt a sharp prick and that warming sensation as the stim pack worked its magic. I looked up to see a familiar face. It was Mark with a W from the vault. "Hello, Hazel," Mark said. "It's Hayes," I croaked. Turns out Mark was also trying to be a fire breather and had finished the course just after me and followed my trail to Welch. So together, it was time to see what the Belching Betty mine was all about. Out front of the mine, a robot named Bernie equipped us with some pretty badass looking fire gear and an experimental pistol that was supposed to be more effective on scorched. Once inside, I was glad to have a partner with me, as the recruits that had gone in before us, the Scorch Slayers, they called themselves, were all dead at the hands of the mini Scorched. And they were a team of 5, while we were just 2. Still, we made our way through, hit the relay, and got back out without much difficulty. Likely, Rita and Maxine's last stand thinned the Scorched ranks considerably. Thanks, guys, and rest in peace. Bernie congratulated us and told us to register ourselves as fire breathers back at HQ. But Mark had something else to attend to first. So we said our goodbyes, him calling me Hazel again in the process, but I let it slide. The man had saved my life earlier. I'm still going to get that story about the W out of him one day, though. Registering gave me a bunch of leads on some tech and power armor. There were also 800,000 messages waiting for me. Not as many unread emails as I usually had on my terminal back in the vault, but I figured maybe I could read the one marked priority. The message was from Hank Madigan, who claimed to have game-changing info on the fight against the Scorched. I needed to find him at his last known location, the top of the world. The trek there wasn't easy. Finding a passable way through the tall cliffs of the Savage Divide was very time consuming, but I eventually made it. Almost. Steps from the top of the world, I got in a scuffle with some more super mutants, once again using all my laser cells before slaying the last one with my trusty pitchfork. But looting its corpse gave me an automatic laser pistol. Sweet. Now I can run out of laser rounds even faster. The top of the world was under control of a DJ named Rose, and Rose wasn't letting me up until I did her some favors. Whatevs. Okay, but I've done enough for today. I'm going home first. Except I wasn't. Minutes later, I was scrambling for my life from super mutants yet again. I was really starting to dislike things. And I was loading a new clip into my submachine gun because I know, and because it made me look badass, when it struck me, these guys all have dogs. Maybe if I offer them the Overseer's dog food, they'll leave me alone. For all I know, that's all they even wanted from me. That's why she put it in there. Thanks, Overseer. I was just about to try when I heard new gunfire. I looked over to see some maniac running across the courtyard, a shotgun blasting away. Well, Mark with a W, you do know how to make an entrance. Wow, bit of a cliffhanger there. I don't know if that historian is going to like these, but I'm sure enjoying them. End holotape. Okay, the story was a bit long, so I'll be quick here. Hazel is now level 20, only just now being able to select the assigned perk of science. So hopefully I can get those energy weapons working a little bit better soon. The only other assigned perk he's been high enough to acquire is natural resistance, which is at rank 1 right now. Other than that, it's mainly just weight efficiency cards he's carrying around. No mutations or anything. So I guess that's it. I'll see you in the wasteland.
Awesome,
Literally.
Will. Great. Thank you for your sweet feedback there, Will.
Very cool.
Lots of things he mentioned. Got a note on the science card. He mentioned it'll help you improve your like laser and plasma and energy weapons. And science do anything else for you at this point?
Hmm.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
There's probably its own robotics expert probably has its own card. Just trying to think what else it would do for you. God, I really need a robot workbench, you guys. It's bad stuff. His ammo, he mentioned time and time again, kept referring to running out of ammo. I've put ammo on my not used list right now, and I'm just collecting the shotgun shells and the 45 so that I can use my combat rifle and shotguns like I like to at some point. Because I have all the perk cards for all the shotguns and rifles too, but they're all mainly just one level of each. So it'd be fun to max out all those cards and then be able to load on the rifles and shotguns and see how powerful they are. But these perk cards, he's running out of ammo like crazy. It's hard. Do you guys ever have trouble? Do you make your ammo? Do you find your ammo? What is your ammo? I can't be trusted with it. As soon as I start using a gun, it's freaking gone.
I make a good portion of ammo, but I also pick it up depending on where I'm at. So, my sniper rifle uses. Yeah, you can find shotgun shells everywhere. And the
Scorched, they use shotguns,
yeah. And 308s, I just go find some super mutants. They usually have 308s on them.
Yeah.
But 38, yeah.
And I usually have quite a bit because most of the time I'm using the baseball bat. So
right.
Do you even pick up ammo at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. 44 and 308.
44. So do you like to use the
Somerset,
the pistols, right? The Somerset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You use that for probably like distance turrets and such whenever you need to.
No, mostly when I'm going to need a faster rate of fire.
Okay. Pat,
Because I have armor piercing on my hunting rifle, but it's such there's so much time between shots.
Mhm.
You can't use it if they're up close.
you got to shoot it from far away. You're right. Aren't you say faster rate of fire, but it's not like the 44 pistols, popping them off like a machine gun or anything. That's still pretty damn slow for a fire rate.
Yeah.
At least the reload speed is ridiculously bad.
Yeah, works for me. And if I get in
Yeah.
trouble, I just break out the bat again.
Though, so Pat was asking me. I was making the comment in the group how I don't even carry a gun with me anymore. I'm sort of disciplining myself to not waste ammo. And then he asked me, "Well, how do you deal with Butch?" And I was thinking about it because I have run into them, and well, because of marsupial, if they're high in the air, I can just sort of jump up and swat them with my claws. Like, I guess that's what I've been doing most of the time. What is your method? Do you bust out a rifle, or do you just run in real quick and smack it?
Just depends on how accessible it is. Because you do get a nice little VATS bump, so you can travel.
It's not blitz, but it's good.
Blitz light,
Blitz Junior, Blitz Light. Exactly. He said that you get some cool fire breather equipment. The gear, awesome, looks sweet. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Gas mask with the fire helmet mixed together. It almost has like sort of a Darth Vader feel to it. It's really kind of a neat helmet set. The only fucking problem with it, which I noticed after wearing it for a couple hours, and I'm just like, man, why the hell is stuff not working? Like my VATS is weird and stuff. It just isn't right. What's going on here? That helmet, anytime you put a gas mask or helmet on, it takes away to perception.
I did not know that.
You put on that helmet and it's like, wah, wah, you can no longer see things on your VATS as well. Your aiming is worse. Your radar detector from your blip, 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 how far away are you is shitty. You can't see people until they're right on top of you. I don't know. And that makes me very mad. We were talking about this in the group, sort of. One of my favorite things in Fallout 4 is playing dress up. You have all these awesome costumes, fits, and especially when you get mods involved, there's all sorts of fancy stuff you can do. You got your outfit, great stuff. The hats also specific buffs. So you had a hat that would go with each outfit. You had your intelligence hat, you had your charisma hat, you had this and that and the other. Hats were so important. And now they do nothing. And it makes me that there's no reason to go out and get buffs for certain hats and collect them and get your outfits together. Your outfits, articles of clothing that do stuff, evidently. Aren't there? Yeah, there's or something that give you extra special bonuses. I think someone was talking about in the group as well. But they've that, which is just devastating to me because I love the dress up aspect of it. And it's wound to have a hat that has negative effects, but none that give you positive. Come on, right?
Yeah, I wonder why that is. There's got to be a reason for it. It's not like they just decided, oh, we're not going to do it. There's got to be a reason behind it, and I wonder what it is.
Well, they're worried people are going to take advantage of the situation, but they'll just go, still they're letting people run around and destroy each other's camps for some reason, even though people don't want people to be foisted upon them, dipshit.
Right.
They're making us do that shit if we don't. Our camp should be invisible unless you've got PvP turned on, right?
Hey, you know what?
That
why I've noticed that some people are putting locks on their camps, like they're having doors that lock. Why? Why is that?
So it's so people will still get into your camp, but at least you get like another notification or something like, and then
Oh,
I think they
Well,
become wanted immediately, and then everybody gets the notification that, oh, this jerk is up here doing something they shouldn't be doing.
yeah.
mm,
I think you get a wanted notice almost immediately when you try to break into someone else's stuff. So always, I was just yelling at Leon last night because he had found this awesome new place up in the toxic, whatever it's called, not toxic. I can't
Toxic
remember what it's
Valley?
called. Toxic Valley, yes, up north there. He found just a junk pile randomly out in the middle of nowhere, so you can set your camp up over it and then build an extractor
Nice.
and sit there and get your junk. I was like, oh man, great find. But I just walked up to it and I wasn't on his team or anything. I
Right.
just happened to fast travel to him and just to check in, see what he was doing. And I could take stuff out of it. So I was like, Leon, you
Right.
need to lock this shit, lock up your shit. But no joke, I could have just taken all of his stuff. So everybody out there, it doesn't matter if you don't really need to build a level 3 lock. Who cares if you do that? Because people, if they want to get into it, they'll get into it. But all you're really doing is setting it up so that you'll get a notification that some shit is going down and you can, fast travel
Right.
out of there.
Well,
So
that makes
people don't
sense.
steal stuff and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So lock your
Yeah.
stuff so that you get the notification.
Smart.
Just a couple more things here mentioned for Will. What do I do with this dog food? And this Will, is you throw on the good doggy card, get out your fucking knife and fork and dig into that dog food is what you do. Come on, Will. Again. That's what it's there for. But I did think it was funny. So the dogs were not interested in eating the food. They were interested in eating him. And another comment on how weak the energy weapons are. I know neither of you are energy weapons users, but it seems like that is pretty much the consensus report so far. I don't know. I haven't heard any word, high or low, whether they're planning on changing the damage distribution of energy weapons, if that's anything concerned. I imagine, I'm not a Reddit user, I'm not a big Reddit person, but I imagine the people on Reddit have had to bring that up. Like, hey, these energy weapons, they just suck balls. We got to do something about this. And it seems like they've been listening to the people on Reddit pretty well. So energy weapon, I mean, that's a big part of the game. Especially if you're like playing from like a Brotherhood aspect or like visit lots of super mutants who use a lot of those energy weapons, Sad that'd be nerfed down so much. Will, thanks for the feedback, man. We better move on with Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Thanks for checking in, sir.
Hello, everyone. This is Eddie with feedback from my Season 7 roundtable character, Sammy Hopewell, for the quest Announcer Prevention, Into the Fire, and Missing Link. A little refresher on my character, Sammy. She entered the vault with her mom when she was 5. She didn't know her father, but using info she got from her mom before she died from a nasty mole rat bite, she's setting out to find him from what she knows about him and a letter she's found. She's looking towards a group called the Free States as to where he might be. After cooking the ribeyes for Delbert's lesson, Sammy was reminded of one of her favorite foods early in the vault, saddled up Salisbury steak. That ready-made patty and tasty gravy was too much to resist. She had noticed the factory just west of Flatwoods earlier and decided to check it out. After she killed some feral ghouls that were a little too comfy there, she claimed it for her own. She hooked up a few wires, logged into the terminal, and set it to make Salisbury steak. But nothing happened. She then got a notification on her Pip-Boy that Poseidon Power Plant needed to be repaired in order for it to work. Seriously, how many times is that place going to go down? But it was on her way to AVR Medical Research, so fixing it one more time probably wouldn't hurt. After clearing out several scorch, repairing a bunch of pipes and control panels, she reset the plant main control and it hummed back to life. Sammy then headed over to AVR Medical to look for Claire Hudson. She had been working on a vaccination for the scorched plague when a blown fuse halted her progress. She had a lead on a new one, and some of her notes talked about the need for ghoul blood, mole rat blood, and wolf blood, as all of these seemed to be immune to the plague. The T fuse was at Greg's mine supply. She knew there was a reliable source of mole rats at a Poseidon substation near there, and some ghouls in Flatwood she could get on her way back. But the wolf bloods could be a little more challenging. Luckily, some of her fellow vault dwellers had clued her into a place east of Charleston where they'd seen a few. With all her goodies collected, she went back to the lab in the basement of AVR, installed the world's last T-fuse and put the blood into the centrifuge, and ran the analysis program. The program was able to finish the vaccination program. It then prompted her to get to the symptomatic so she could be vaccinated. There was a recording that played asking that she take the news of the vaccine to an elite group of scorch killers called the fire breathers. I should probably look for them at the Charleston Fire Department, from what she's heard. Up the hill from the medical center at the fire department, no living people, just protectrons again. After listening to another of the overseer's holotapes, she looked around and found a cheat sheet for the responders' initial exam. The questions were pretty straightforward, but a little help never hurt anybody. After passing it, it pointed her in the direction of the Charleston Herald for the physical exam, a run from the Herald's office to the Capitol building and back again. Sammy dropped to the ground as soon as she could, with her pistol in hand, ran faster than ever and made it back with a little time to spare. She then headed up to an old mine called Belching Betty for the final exam. The fire breather protectron Bernie handed Sammy a special 10mm pistol and told her she had to activate a signal beacon in the lower part of the mine. The pistol was specially modified to do more damage to Scorch, but still did far less than her trusty hunting rifle, so she left it behind. Betty was clearly suffering from a mine fire and had a scorched infestation. So, per her fire breather training, she ended their suffering. At the bottom of the mine, she activated the beacon and headed back, clearing out the rest of the scorch on the way. She went back down to the fire station. Now she was a fire breather. Snazzy outfit and all. There was a message from someone named Madigan. He had important info on the scorched, and I should find him at a place called the Top of the World. Sammy was then directed to a terminal in the station with schematics for ultrasight receivers for many of the guns she used, along with ultrasight 5.56 and 5mm ammo. Next step, to the top of the world. But first, she needed to get back to Sunshine Meadows Industrial Farm. When she got there, there were 20 tasty Salisbury steaks waiting for her. Then it dawned on her. There wasn't any cattle here. What the hell were these made out of? Thanks all for listening, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Oh no, another food mystery.
Just always know it's better not to ask.
Is it the pink goo from the Suffolk County Charter School?
It's always people.
Is it iguana bits?
It's always people.
Can you sous vide iguana bits? I'm sure it'd be delicious.
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned the Scorch pistol. That is an effect that we were talking about, let's see, last week, I think. I don't even remember. You have to be able to go somewhere. I thought it was the Big End Tunnel or something, but maybe not. I could be mistaken about that. But you can get that effect on like both your shotguns and rifles. And I was hoping like melee weapons too, please. Can I get that on my mole miner gauntlet or raised baseball bat? Because I would like an anti-scorched effect mod. I know you can pick up legendary drops that have that effect on it, but it'd be better to get a mod, I think, to be able to make it like that. That'd be great. Eddie, thank you for your feedback, sir. Sarah's checking in from Appalachia. Sarah, howdy do?
Sarah Saylor here with feedback for the character Bradley. October 23rd, 2102, Dear Jack. It's been almost a month since Reclamation Day. At least, I think it has been. With the inaccuracy of my Pip-Boy and the way Appalachia seems to be frozen in the state it was the day the bombs fell, makes it impossible to gauge how much time has passed. Still, we forge on with the impossible task that was laying before us. In that time, I've learned to scrap and scavenge for supplies we need just to survive day to day. I've been fortunate in my friends, both the ones that I had while I lived in the vault and those I made since leaving. We banded together, helping each other with tasks and sharing the things we've managed to find with those in need. We took for granted the easy life we had in the vault. All of our basic needs and wants were taken care of before we even realized that there was a void. There were times in the early days of our exodus when food and water was scarce and the hunger pains and fear were so much that I wanted to give up. Things are better now. I have a cabin overlooking a creek, and a banjo I play on the porch. At the end of the day, I can almost forget the scorched and the mutated animals, the overseer, and her damnable mission. Every time I think I'm going to give it up, I find myself thinking about her getting a hold of those launch codes. I don't think I could be trusted, or I don't think she could be trusted, but I don't think I'm any more worthy of that power. I had convinced myself to stop following them. Then the most terrifying moment of my life happened. I had been scavenging near a New River Gorge resort when I heard a loud flapping. The air was foul with its stench. It was large. My first thought was of the Mothman, but this thing was so much bigger. I was too terrified to move, but the wind from its wings almost knocked me to the ground. It saw me, but it made no move to attack. As insane as it sounds, I almost feel like it was feeding off of my fear. As quickly as it was there, it had disappeared. Once I was able to regain my wits, I went straight back to our camp to warn everyone. I decided then to get back to work on the inoculation the responders had started. With this, I enlisted the help of some of my friends, Loner and Sammy. I didn't tell them about the silos. Maybe I should have. I don't know what's right or wrong here. The information took us to Charleston, to the medical building, or to a medical building. It seemed the responders had been using for their research. They had found out that 3 species had immunity to the scorch virus and were needing samples from their blood: feral ghouls, mole rats, and wolves. We also had to find a special fuse to make the equipment work. Once we were able to locate these things, the things that we needed, we were able to create the inoculation. I'm pleased to say that my friends and I are safe from the scorched virus. After that, I decided to continue on with the responders training. The more I learned of them, I see how important continuing their legacy is. It started with me running through an obstacle course through Charleston. It took me 2 times to complete it. The first time, I was ambushed by scorch and ghouls alike. Once I cleared the enemies, I was able to complete it. And once I was done, I headed down to the ash heap to the Belching Betty mine. Growing up near the mines, I had always known the dangers that existed, but going into the mine today, I don't know how people could go into them every day. The thick air, the close quarters, the penetrating blackness. More than once I thought I was going to suffocate, but I made it out, slightly singed and stronger for it. There is much more I need to do, but now I'm exhausted, weary to my bones. I'm going to rest, then I'm heading to the top of the world to see what awaits me there. With love, from Bradley. So that's all for today. I didn't get to finish the 3rd quest that we were supposed to, but I was a little bit busy with the boring life stuff. But anyway, I will literally see you all in the wasteland. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah, for the good feedback here. As she was talking about her adventures there, may think of something. She was talking about the different species that are immune to the scorch virus, and that made me think. Ray, why do you think it's wolves like what aspect about these different animals do you think makes them immune? Why a wolf? Why would a wolf be immune to the scorch virus? Why a mole rat? Mole rat makes more sense to me for some reason, but confused by the wolf mainly. And what was the third one? I forget. Mole rat, wolf, and something. Ghoul. Yeah. See, mole rats and ghouls make more sense to me. Wolves don't seem like they have all their hair and stuff still, so they almost seem like they're immune to radiation almost too. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
they're completely unmutated.
yeah, I mean, you can find glowing ones, leveled glowing wolves and stuff like that, but most of the wolves you see, just the normal wolves, they don't look irradiated or poisoned or anything for the most part. They seem pretty resilient suckers, I guess. So I was just wondering that seems interesting. Why those animals? But yeah, mole rats and ghouls kind of make more sense for some reason. They're already irradiated, so maybe something else couldn't take hold. But the wolves, maybe they're just super resistant. Wolf blood, right? Wolf blood
Yeah,
winning.
maybe that's.
Yeah. All right, let's check in with Beardy Cy. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, Cy.
Coil's Journal, Part 3. So I made it to Charleston. The place looked like it had gone downhill since I was last there. Small towns in the forest, they weren't too wrecked, but this place was in ruins. Looks like the dam burst and took most of the city with it. It was just shattered buildings and flooded streets. The Chavez corpse directed me towards the AVR Medical for information on this vaccine. It's not a bad thing, I suppose. The last thing I want is to wind up like one of those scorched zombies. They were swarming about the place like crazy. The old hospital was like a maze filled with death. 25-year-old mummified corpses, scorched statues, live scorched trying to kill me. I eventually found what I was looking for in the basement. I had to go get some bits and pieces to make the machine work and hopefully create a vaccine. Most important was the T-type fuse. I remember the supplier a ways north of here and set out hoping to find the resistant blood samples I needed along the way. Mole rats are easy. I cleaned out a nest of them down by the river. And there I could hear a wolf in the distance, so that took me back east. I found a mangy disease thing, and it was more a case of putting it out of its misery than anything else. I headed north to find some ghouls, and I ran into a couple of these huge green fuckers. Some kind of mutants. They were big and tall and armed and armored, and bad attitudes. They seemed a lot more with it than the scorched, but shotgun shells worked just as well on them. I was just about to jump down into the old riverbed when I saw the thing. It was a pale, slimy creature, all covered in eyes and teeth. I'll have nightmares about that for a long time. I managed to pick it off from a distance with my rifle, but it was spitting balls of acid or something, which made a right mess of my armor. I finally got to the mining supply company, which was locked up tight. I couldn't find a way in. There were more fucking scorched everywhere and more gunfire. I took cover in a basement across the street, and lo and behold, the neighbors had been tunneling into the mining supply store. I don't know what they were doing, but since one wound up with a pickaxe in her chest, I'm going to guess it didn't work. A bit of rummaging about got me the parts I needed, and I hightailed it back to Charleston. Back at AVR, I got the gizmo going, and I processed the blood, and miracle of miracles, it produced a vaccine. It seems I'm immune to the scorch plague now. Who knows if it's true or not, but it's a nice thought. An automated tape said some elite responders, the fire breathers, they were taking the fight to the scorched. I'll bet that's where the overseer went. The fire breathers were based at Charleston Fire Station, and digging about in a terminal there, I managed to sign myself up. There were 3 tests to become one of their elite. The first, a theory test, was absurdly easy. Anybody with an ounce of sense would have passed that. If that's all it takes to become one of their elite, well, I'm not surprised they're all dead. Then there was a physical test, run across the city and back against the clock. A hard thing to do in a ruined city infested with ghouls and giant mutants. Another one of those tooth and eye monsters too. I didn't fight it. I just ran for my life, throwing out my stock of grenades behind me as I ran. I don't know whether I got it or it was scared away. Either way, I survived and I passed the test. The third test would be down a mine to the south. Fantastic. Only just got topsides after 25 years underground. Thought of a dark mine gave me chills. I hadn't seen any evidence of the overseer in a while, either alive or dead. If she got this far, she's tougher than I give her credit for. I had a nose around the Charleston Herald building before I left. Seemed things were far from settled here before the war. I did see a mention of Garahan Mining's excavator power armor. I vaguely remember hearing something about that before the war. I'll have to see what I can find if I make it to their HQ. I could really use a set of power armor around here. So, on to the Belching Betty mine. Well, Bernie the Protectron kitted me out with fire breather gear and sent me into the mine to ring a bell at the bottom. How bad could that be, right? Well, the place was literally like hell itself. The walls, the floor, fuck, even the air was burning. It was a place of nightmares. And that was before the hordes of scorched attacking out of the smoky darkness. Even with my mask, the foul air made me gag, and the noise. The crackling and roaring of the fires below, the screeches and moans and shouts of the scorched, deafening roar of my shotgun. My head was spinning. Disoriented and half blinded by the smoke, I finally hit the button and managed to get the fuck out of there. I found their corpses on the way out, the lost fire breathers. Later on, I listened back to their tapes, and I couldn't help but feel a kinship. We'd been through the same, but I made it out, just about. The Overseer's Trail led onwards to the top of the World Ski Resort. So that's where I headed next. But first, I went back to the camp to rest. When I got there, I heard my turret firing, and out back, well, I saw another creature. It was like the Mothman myth up from Point Pleasant. I let loose both barrels of my shotgun, and it vanished in a cloud of smoke. There was no sign of a body, so fuck only knows what happened. What the hell is with this place? I made it eventually to the top of the world. There's someone here, alive. Rose, apparently, is her name. She won't let me up to her till I do some jobs for her, but I found a tape from the overseeing saying how much she dislikes her already. That's got to be a good thing. I think I'm going to like it here. But for now, it's time to rest and get some shut-eye.
I think you're going to be disappointed with Rose.
I don't know. She's kind of cool.
Ray. No, she's fun, but
No.
after we spend the next like 8 episodes of the show with her, you'll be enough already.
Wear on you a little bit.
Enough already, Rose.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
What's up?
I tried to shoot her.
Did she take kindly to that?
She didn't even blink an eye. She didn't care.
She's probably seen worse in her heyday.
I guess so. I was done. Done with her.
Oh, yeah. Her fun accent, huh? It's like Barbus the dog almost. I don't know. Yeah, it's fun.
She probably thought the ding from the bullet made her look better.
Probably.
Yeah. She wears it with honor. He mentioned the Mothman. He took a shot at the Mothman, disappeared in a cloud of smoke and gone. You run into the Mothman yet? There's the event. There's the event at the lighthouse where you can get the wise Mothman where he'll commune with you. And you get, I don't know, some sort of boof.
Yeah,
buff. Boost or buff or a boof. You get some sort of boost. I ran into
a Flatwoods monster.
Oh, did you? That's one of the rare ones. I haven't seen it. Is that like the floating purple alien robot thing?
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
I've seen it from afar.
You've seen it in game too.
Yeah, from afar. And then we took a shot at it just to see what would happen, and then he just disappeared.
So I assume this is only in vicinity of Flatwoods spawn.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember where we were.
I
when
really
we saw
can't
it.
believe I haven't seen it yet. Gee whiz. It's amazing. I saw a sloth, living sloth finally.
Wow.
Right before I got a shot in on it, it was killed by ghouls that it was fighting.
Oh.
Also, 5 seconds later, I ran into the behemoth by the golf course, who also, before I got a shot in, was killed by ghouls 5 seconds before I tried to kill him. I didn't get any XP from those really rare things. It's sort of upsetting. Simon also mentioned the excavator power armor. He read an entry about the excavator power armor. He's going to go grab that because he had heard about it before going into the vault. Evidently, it's like, oh gosh, yeah, I forgot about sort of the advertising capitalist side of this. There would be advertising for these excavator power armors and stuff like that. So no, that's awesome. That's cool to mention that. Gosh, I don't remember. Ray, I don't think you're a power armor guy. Sarah, do you power armor every once in a while? You're not a power armor, are you?
I'm trying in this game.
Oh, trying more? Yeah.
Yeah, and I am only getting by on the kindness of strangers.
Yeah. So what level of range is your character? Because you can't even really you can get into the frame, but you can't even really do power armor until 20, 25?
No, there's some raider power armor that you can get, I think, at level 20. And my character, I think she's a 24. Like, she's right in there. And I have an almost full set of raider power armor that I'm working on.
Does it have like a big cage over the face and stuff?
Yeah.
Good deal. Now I've got the excavator power armor. And you know how there's like different tiers of each set that you can, if you can craft it, you can craft it at different levels. I did the level 45. I really don't take it out very often though. But all three of my freaking hazmat suits are broken today, so I had to bust it out. I was going to take it into the blast zone earlier today. But, cool. Thank you, Sai, for your great feedback. Always appreciated, sir. Please keep up the good work. Keep them coming in. And last for our feedback this evening, we have a longtime listener, very dedicated guy. We love talking to him. We love hearing his stories. Thank you. Gosh, I couldn't tell. Was he being sarcastic when he said he didn't like being called Cannibal Craig? I couldn't tell. Should we not call him Cannibal Craig? Okay, let's hear from Craig. We'll call him Craig.
Hello, Fallout Feed. Craig here with more of Marge's Adventures in Appalachia. After leaving the airport, I made my way to AVR Medical Center in Charleston. I learned that Dr. Hudson was working on a vaccine to the scorched virus. Wolves, mole rats, and feral ghouls are less susceptible to the virus. So I needed to gather blood from these three. I also needed to head up to the mining supply store to find a T-type fuse to replace the one powering the symptomatic in the medical center. I gathered the items I needed and headed back to AVR, stuck the samples in the machine and analyzed them. The vaccine was synthesized in a few seconds, and then I was inoculated. It was now time to take the fight to the Scorched. Apparently, the responders had an elite group of Scorched hunters called the Fire Breathers. They were headquartered in the Charleston Fire Station. I founded the terminal to join. I first needed to score 100% on the written exam. It took me 2 tries to get it right, but I finally passed. Next was the physical exam. I had to run a course through the middle of downtown Charleston, or what was left of it anyway. I ran the course first to make sure that I knew where I was going and to clear out any creatures. Luckily I did, because there was a snallygaster in the middle of the course. I took it down fairly easily and headed back. I started the course for real and took it down in record time. It was now on to the final exam. I needed to meet a robot named Bernie. He gave me a fire breather uniform and instructed me to head into Belching Betty. I make my way to the end and hit an alarm. Then come back. Simple, right? Well, not really. Belching Betty is a fiery inferno filled with scorched. But anyway, I headed in. While I was in there, I ran into a fellow vault dweller. We worked together to clear out the scorch and make our way to the alarm. When we hit the button, we were swarmed by at least a dozen or more scorched. We made short work of them and then made our way back to Bernie. We were both fire breathers now, and we went on our separate ways. I headed back to the fire station to present myself to the leader, who was dead, of course. So I presented myself to a computer. That's the same thing, right? There, I learned more about a fire breather named Madigan. He was on a mission, but ran into some trouble at the top of the world. So I was to head there and see what was going on with him. I headed there, and I found a woman named Rose runs the place. She wouldn't let me up the elevator till I fixed her radio signal, but that's a story for another time. All right, so character update time. I'm roughly level 56 after all of this. My mutation is Speed Demon, which I received the Speed Demon serum along with Marsupial and Bird Bones, and I'm having an awesome time jumping around and running around with those three. The Speed Demon mutation makes me a little hungry and thirstier than normal, but with the Cannibal perk, I only really notice the thirst. My faction is the Brotherhood of Steel. I know of them, but I have not officially met them in the main story, though I am dabbling in building level 50 sets of all the power armor. My camp is supposed to be in the Cranberry Bog. I did have one in there, but I kept getting attacked by Scorch Beasts, so I moved it more towards the edge of the Cranberry Bog. One of my perks is Robotic Expert. I do have a gripe about it. It's semi-useful for pacifying robots for a little while, but it hacks the vendor robots as well. X is the button on Xbox to hack, but it's also the button to open the buy and sell menu on the vendors. Sometimes I get Y option to buy and sell, but usually I have to take the robotics expert card off to even interact with them. Well, anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in Appalachia.
Awesome, Craig. Thank you for the great feedback. I said Craig was the last one, but I checked the email, and we have another submission from Chris that just hopped in here late, so we'll also hear from Chris here in just a minute. But Craig was talking about all his mutations, having such a great time with mutations running around, and that made me think I'm loving my mutations as well. Have you guys experienced any of the mutations yet?
I've had the marsupial briefly, but that's about it.
And you had to take a rat away and it got rid of it, or you on purpose you were like, oh, I don't like this, I need to get rid of this?
No, I accidentally took rat away out of force of habit.
Yeah. Until you hit level, I think it's 31, you can't get level 2 of the starch genes perk anyway, so it's really tough to hang on to them until you're past level 30. And we all know Ray's stories. Like, he starts a lot of different characters, likes to play stories from different angles, likes to play different characters from different builds, likes to experience all the different ways to play the game. And so that means that not a lot of your characters reach level 30, 40, 50. You reach a lot of 20s, teen, early 30s, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't have anybody that's gone over level 25 yet.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys feel a balance change in the XP earned. I feel like you level up faster in this game.
No, I totally feel, I think it depends on what you're doing, actually. Because I have days where I feel like it takes me forever to level up. And then there's days where we're fighting big baddies and it goes really quick.
Well, it's interesting to me that they expect you to level up every day. Maybe that's just like their perk for getting you to play more frequently. But one of the daily challenges to earn your atoms for the atomic shop, one of them inevitably almost every day, I think every day, is level up for a certain number of atoms. So they expect you to level up, pretty frequently.
Yeah,
maybe it's just an illusion. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I don't think. I mean, I could go back and listen to old episodes and see, but I don't believe that I would have ever had a level 74 character by the 4th episode of a roundtable. I think most of my characters ended in the 50s or 60s. I don't know how many I got into the 70s even.
Well, and Fallout 4 doesn't really have that XP grind of being able to go into the nuke zone, and
that's very true.
repeatedly take out high level enemies.
Yeah, have loops where if new people join the server, it'll respawn things again and again and again.
Hmm.
The Fallout 4 boost for the XP, you got to keep your intelligence low and then take Idiot Savant. Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Yep.
And that thing, you get the highest level of that. It procs all the time, and then you get super, super high level. But I could be imagining things, but I think you level up higher. Mutations. Ray had marsupial. Sarah, did you say you had anything?
The only thing I think I've successfully gotten is empath like 3 times.
That's the fucking worst one.
Yeah. And then I just gave up.
Your teammates love you for it though.
Yeah, I bet.
I hate it. So I'm glad you brought that up because that is a little project that I have started. Now, before I got all my mutations, I have all of them except, like I mentioned, you can get all of 18 out of 19, but you can't have both carnivore and herbivore at the same time. So I believe I have carnivore at this point, but I'm trying to go through and see if I can systematically, without serums and cures and stuff, keep all of my mutations except for getting rid of only empath is the only one I want to get rid of. So today I started trying to figure out how this process is going to go. And I figured out, let's see, I'm going to take a rat away and get rid of 1 mutation. Okay, that worked. All right, let's wait for the rat away to wear off so I get better radiation exposure. Let's see, it got rid of 1 I want to keep. Dang it. All right, so that sucks. So I got to wait 10 minutes or something for the rat away to wear off so I can get more radiation exposure. If you get 30 plus radiation exposure, you can get a higher chance of getting the mutations, I have found. Maybe I'm imagining that as well, but I figure if you're only getting 10 rads a second, that's not going to give you as much of a chance of getting the mutation as the 30, to 60 or whatever rads a second that's possible. Now, I accidentally cure a mutation that I want to have. So I hop without starch genes on. I hop back into my radiation pool and wait. And oh no, I'm about to die. Hop out real quick. Oh, and as I'm hopping out, look, I got my mutation back that I wanted to keep. Okay. So I put starch genes back on. And so I have to wait until the next day or until I hop servers again before I can try again. But I think that is a system that I can use in order to just one by one, and I can get rid of a mutation. But it's nice to know that mutation will come immediately back as soon as I get irradiated enough, because I have all of them, so I know which one will come back immediately. So I can just keep doing that until eventually I fucking get rid of empath. It might take a while. Might take 18 different play sessions, and it might take more than that because it's no guarantee that they go in order or that's only once per thing. I could get 1, 2, or 3 times before empath ever comes up. And that's the bad thing about empath. It seems like every time you get mutations, that's the one. They love it. They pound you with empath for some reason. It's like, oh, there's these mutations and they have good and bad aspects, except for empath. It fucking blows. Here, we're going to shove it down your throat. It's like PvP. We're going to give you empath and PvP. Here, have fun. No, we don't want that. So I'm kind of trying to go through that my slow ass grind system and get rid of empath here. But Craig, I'm glad you're having fun bouncing around the moon with your bird bones, sorry. Bird bones and marsupial. I have that stuff too, and I've been very impressed with I've got the 80% less fall damage with goat legs, I believe it's called. And I've just been falling off of stuff. I'm falling off of stuff that's so damn high. I'm giving myself queasiness and slight nausea. It's so
high. My gosh.
I've sort of got a fear of heights things in real life. And so I'm balancing on these things and just seeing how far I can fall. I'm giving myself a little bit of the willies falling off of these things. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to finally do it. So I went over to that. What is that? The bridge that is just impossibly tall. That's like a mile high. That green system.
Yeah, the New River Bridge.
The New River Bridge. I went over there. It's like, I'm going to do it. I can fucking handle it, you guys. I'm going to do it. I can't handle it, you guys.
That is such a long fall.
It is. Oh my god, it gives me the willies falling doing that fall. And power armor, it's no big deal. You just chunk and fall down and take a knee or whatever and you hit. But I thought I had a chance for a brief second because my character like hit the ground and like my health went down to like, it took like 99% of my health away, and like it looked like there was a little bit of bar left of health, and my character stood up and then fell down. I was like, oh fuck, it didn't make it.
Weird. I wonder why your character stood up and then fell over.
I don't know, maybe because of goat legs, the cards. The cards seem to do really wacky stuff, especially if you share them and if you have whatever that one is that enhances your teammates' cards. You can have you can have different cards that enhance different things, and then it just makes you mutations and all that stuff just go kind of haywire. It's crazy how that affects them. Yeah, Craig, thanks for the feedback there, brother. I just before we get into our last feedback, and then we've got some Fallout Terminal Velocity. I know the show's going long; it always does. I apologize. I'm terrible. But we got an email here from Brian Mitchell, a new listener to the show. He said that he wants to be added to the gamer tag Excel spreadsheet. We could add you to the Excel one, but we should probably add you to the Google sheet instead because the Excel one's pretty dead over there, Brian. Anyway, bad joke. Ray, I forwarded you an email. Let's get Brian signed up. Welcome to the gang, Brian. If you feel like interacting with anyone, we suggest you head over to our Facebook group and get all signed up over there. That's where a lot of our good conversations happen, and you can get access to things like our brand new the Fallout feed, the Fallout 76 swap meet that we have. We've already done a few interactions. Jess came over and got some black titanium from me, and she gave me a crap ton of 45 ammo. So that was a successful interaction. And I know that some people over on the PC have been getting together and using the spreadsheet there to do a couple of trades as well. So looks like we're slowly getting it going. There's a few entries there over on the spreadsheet, so it's pretty fun. If you come over and be a part of the Facebook group, it's pinned to the top there, and you get access to that sort of stuff. We're using everybody's real names in the spreadsheet, so we're keeping this one to just people in the Facebook group.
Yeah, so he's in the gamer tag list now.
Great, thank you, Ray, for doing that. Brian, welcome to the gamer tag list. I actually signed him up on my friends list for the Xbox, and ran around and actually found him tonight before he signed up, and he's just like, whoa, what is happening? This is weird. That was you? What a coincidence that you were randomly on my... It's like, no, it wasn't random. I looked you up on the Xbox friends.
No, I'm a creeper.
Yeah, I'm stalking you. Oh, welcome to the show. Let's see. We had one more feedback that slipped in here from Chris. So let's check in with Chris. I'm going to have to play this one live from the email, so I might have to crank it up a little bit, you guys. I don't know if you'll have to just be sure not to cough too loud or something in case I have to turn it up on this end.
Hey guys, it's Chris calling from Utah. Talking about my roundtable character, Mr. Dalton. He is the great-great-grandparent of my previous character, who established Dalton Farm and all that. I've been just trying to focus on the glitches and patches and all the changes that have been happening. I've been trying to follow that with YouTube videos and Twitter and all that. And I just really want to have my character be the best they can be before all the patches kick in and ruin everything. So I really stopped doing quests and just been focusing on leveling up. I've been really enjoying my power armor. I only have like half T51, half Raider armor, so it's like not really that good, but I just don't ever seem to be dying a whole lot. I don't notice a ton. So everybody that has the excavation armor and the XO1 and all that, I'm like, they must just never die. I'm getting close to being level 50, which is exciting because finally no more restrictions. And then I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where all the perk cards settle down and see which ones seem appealing to me. So that's kind of how I've been playing lately, besides just, or figuring out how I want to organize and having to make some hard decisions. I'm just retraining my brain from Fallout 4. What's important now? What is not important? And it seems like a plastic spoon is better than a cryolator now, and that's just so weird to not even give a crap about some of these things that we pick up. And it kind of makes me nervous to go back and play Fallout 4 or whatever they're going to do next. Am I going to have to retrain my brain again? Or are we going to have this whole restrictions thing be the new Fallout? I don't know. I mean, I've been enjoying the restrictions of having to, spend half my evening looking for spoons. And so I've enjoyed that. And the social side has been fun. I've enjoyed all the people I've got to know. The Facebook chat has been so fun, knowing that it's all people that are on Xbox with me and that I can chat with and play online right now. That's been fun. So anybody that's not on their system's Facebook chat group, you should get on it. I'm currently in with the Xbox people, and it's been fun. And like Andrew said last week, the marketplace thing that we've created is a lot of fun. I'm obsessing about collecting plans, or what do you call them? Recipes and stuff like that. That's what I've been enjoying to collect. And not that I'm building everything, but anyway, sometimes I'm just too busy with this new baby and nursing school and having kids and stuff. It's busy, but it's hard to get on and play for a long chunk of time. But if I can just jump online and just take a power plant real quick and get some more plans, unlock some stuff. So my Xbox name is I Don't Even Care. That's I space Don't Even Care. And this has been my ramblings as I'm driving home. Hey, I'll see you guys in the wasteland, all right? Thanks. Oh, before I forget, from my follow-up last week of my little glitch room, Andrew described it perfectly. I would set my stove down so that when I sat down, I was inside the building, so that you sit down to craft some cooking stove stuff, and then you cancel the cooking stove, so you're standing up, and now you're inside the building. And so far, I've only been able to find this one building I can do that, because everything else is too close to a habitated area, or whatever you call it, so you can't build your house there. So we'll see what comes with the patch. But yeah, Andrew said it just right. But the only thing was different is that you can just jump right out. I don't have to fast travel. So I can get into the house, and I can see out perfectly, and no one can hurt me or shoot me. But I can just jump right back out. Anyway, kind of fun. I like glitches and tricks that aren't cheaty, if that makes sense. So, and my two-shot explosive lever action rifle that I crewed naturally. Just kidding, it was $6 on eBay. Was still pretty powerful, so I'm not too pissed off about the changes, but I think the game feels very balanced, and that's important. So, anyway, hey, I'll see you guys in the future, and it's been fun. Now I'm gone. Bye.
That's really interesting. Did he say he spent $6 real on eBay?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, interesting. So I wonder, did you set that up through Reddit or something, Chris? That's really cool. No, so you go to eBay and you just search, and someone on Xbox has that, and you meet them, and that's crazy. Isn't it amazing? Did you think Bethesda thought that this sort of stuff would pop up? Like,
I think they knew.
Yeah,
I think it happens for a lot of online games.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does. Okay. See,
Can't
this is
be
a
the
whole
first
new
time.
world to me. I don't play MMOs. I don't play online games. I don't, this is a brand new world to me. I don't know how it all works. The trick building, that is really cool. I need to start moving my camp around. I kind of like where it is. Like I described last time, I moved it back to where I had it a couple episodes ago. And I moved it a bunch around, but I didn't find a place that I liked as well. So I moved it right back to where it was. on a black titanium deposit. So I collect that every time I log in. I get a
Nice.
fresh little stash of black titanium ore, but it's super expensive to make the scrap. You take the ore, it's like 3 ore and 4 acid to make 1 piece of scrap. It's fucking ridiculous.
Really?
But
Wow.
anyway, I've got like a couple hundred, or I did, and
Holy
I've
cow.
made a couple people who are making the excavator armor or who are repairing like combat armor, I think, need a lot of the black titanium. So I made a couple of deals and gotten some ammo from people
Nice.
doing the black titanium trade. Yep. But that secret building trick is really cool, and when I start moving my camp around more, I want to try to find spots where we can do that. We should build like a little map of
That's
all the
super cool.
buildings that you could sneak into, because that's really fun. But yeah, it takes a really special occasion to find a sealed building that is far enough away from a town that you can build your camp, because they don't let you build your camp close to any town.
Mm.
If you go north of Flatwoods, you can sort of get close to. That's the garage he's talking about. It's on the road, sort of heading out of Flatwoods. If you go north out of town there. Oh, by the way, Chris, I thought that I really like the fact that you're doing the Dalton family for the Dalton farm from Far Harbor there. That was the great. This is the great grandfather of that character. So I think that's really cool. That reminds me of what like Victor used to do, or still does, with the Skyrim roundtable. He has these branching characters that are all interwoven family trees and stuff. So that's really fun to be able to have your characters interact and be family and descendants and related to each other. That's a really, really cool way to play those roles. You said you like the glitches and Pat, you're really paying attention to the patches on YouTube and stuff. So you have any fun glitches and stuff, Chris, you be sure to point them out to us. I'm interested in knowing that stuff. And speaking of the patches, Ray, did you have a couple of items from this new patch that came out this past week that we should know about?
So his 2-shot rifle, so they dropped the damage from 100% to down to 25%.
In Fallout 4,
Wow.
was it a double damage with a 2-shot? I believe
No, it was it was a complicated formula. It adds the base damage of the weapon back again. So any mods or any improvements are not included in the second shot.
So it's
essentially
double base damage then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Plus whatever else you've got added to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
But not double buffs.
No.
No double boofs.
Yeah.
Double boofs.
So vendors now have a repeating recipes and plans. So, if you go to a particular vendor in any playthrough, they're always going to have these, a set of plans.
The same plan every time I log in, or is it a rotating?
No, it from what it sounds like, it's going to be, that vendor will always and only have, those plans.
Are they leveled in any way?
It doesn't really indicate, but what it does say is that since they are predictable now, they're going to be more expensive.
And someone's been floating around. We can post this up in the group if anyone's interested in again. But we've been floating around in our Xbox chat the vendor association map, because there's like so many vendors, and they share inventories and money or something. So you can't go sell a bunch, or they don't share inventories, but they do share caps. So if you drain one of them, they're all out of caps, right? And most of the vendors I run into seem to be responder vendors. Now there's a responder and raider, like there's a raider in Sutton, and then the responder's right across the way over there in Flatwoods or something, or I don't remember, but there's two towns that are really close together that you can use that. And then there's like White Springs, I believe, has its own sort of economy. But then those are basically the three I go to because I don't have access to the is there a Brotherhood vendor? Definitely not the Enclave. I don't know. Do the Free States have a vendor? I don't have access to those yet because I haven't really gotten that far with this character. So there's only 3 different vendor economies really that I can tap into, and at 200 each, that's a selling spree of 600 caps each. Now, I guess instead of just hitting those 3 that I always hit, now I need to go figure out which vendors have which specific plans. You know what I mean? I can't just do my normal 3 loop. But now it matters which specific vendors I visit now.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, Watoga, there's one in Watoga too, isn't there? Is that? I don't remember which faction the Watoga one is. Is it its own thing? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't even bother going to vendors because it's just.
Yeah. I haven't for a long time, but after the patch, I wanted to go see what they had. And one thing I do really like, and I assume you're going to bring this up at some point, Ray, with the plans, is that the parenthetical known. That is a great thing. If you already know this plan, you don't have to toggle all the way back through your menu and try to read through the whole list again just to see which ones you know and which ones you don't.
Right.
That is great. Anything else big in the patch?
So it fixes a couple of glitches in blueprints. So now it doesn't inadvertently duplicate a blueprint for you. So evidently that was an exploit that
people were taking advantage of, I guess.
Yeah. Some reasonably common sense ones like flamers, cryolators, and plasma and laser weapons no longer spawn with explosive legendary mods.
Now, come on, the explosive cryolator, doesn't that sound fun? Like an exploding ice gun? Come on, that sounds just awesome.
It does sound awesome.
So,
and I haven't looked into it all because I don't use energy weapons much, but I assume that they allow you to create the cryolator ammo in this game. I don't know. Could you in 4? I always remember running out of cryolator ammo. Could you craft it? It must have been impossible components to craft, or I might have tried.
It seemed to me that you could, oh no, maybe that was the alien blaster. You could convert it to a conventional ammo type.
I know you definitely could do that with the alien blaster. You could convert that to energy cells or whatever they're called. But that's why I never use the cryolator, is just really lack of ammo. That's a weapon I would have had interest in using in Fallout 4, but I just never could because there was never enough ammo to use it. But I assume in this game, I haven't looked into it, but it'd be fun. Look into if I do a science / energy weapons character at some point, it'd be fun to use the cryolator if you can craft the ammo so that I could have a very plentiful, figure out what the source is, have my loop be all the ingredients to make that stuff, and be able to actually have a good science character and have an effective cryolator type build. That would be pretty fun. I think that would be fun. Awesome. Chris, thank you for your feedback. Everyone, amazing feedback. Another great batch of feedback tonight. Lee, Ian, Clint, Leon, Will, Eddie, Sarah, Beardy, Cy, Craig, and Chris. Let's sign off for the evening by going through our last episode of Fallout Terminal Velocity here, number 15. We're going to hear from Plutonic. Let's see. Plutonium Pat And Plutonium Pat is over in the Capital Wasteland. This is our first entry, I believe, from the Capital Wasteland. And I believe that he is in the Dunwich building. I'm not sure what it's called in Fallout 3. Ray, do you remember off the top of your head? Was it Dunwich? It's not the Boars. That's 4.
No, yeah, it's the building.
The Dunwich building from Fallout 3. Let's hear from Plutonium Pat.
The board here. I feel really. And this Dunwich building freaks me out. You know, my dad was like hardcore Mr. Science. Oh, and he always taught me there's always a rational explanation for anything in the man. I don't know, geez. Place is Dunwich building. Easy. On these freaky journals. I don't know, man. That Point Lookout place, that was weird, but you know, I think it was just that guy was fucking with my head, and there was those trippy plants and stuff. You know, I think there was an explanation. This Dunwich building, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not sure what's going on. I think it just maybe it's gonna, you know, if Dad were still around, I could talk to him. I don't know. I think. Oh man. It's a Google. This I know what to do with. I'll kill this.
Thanks for listening.
I'll put down his buddy that's coming around the corner too. Yeah. Go to hell, fucking Uber. Jesus Christ, you things are. I don't know. Maybe that's the science. I don't know. Shit. I don't know. We're the hell with this. Let's find these terminals. Maybe if I read these terminals again, maybe that'll make it all make sense to me. So here, let me. I'm gonna go find these terminals, and then I'm gonna come back and that'll help me make sense of this freaking. Again. No, maybe I should play these other tapes. Maybe this will help. Let me listen to this guy's tapes. This guy he made 9 tapes of what the hell happened to him. So maybe this guy. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Why the hell would he come all the way out here? Dad's been a little nuts for some time now, but not like this. Leaving me in that crappy old hospital without waking me, without a goddamn flashlight. I made enough selling the meds we scrounged to have kept us both fed at the colony for weeks. Now I'm almost out of rations, my shoes are pretty much destroyed, and I'm still chasing the old coot. By my last reckoning, he was headed south.
Amy or Jaime? I don't know. When this happened? This after the war? Colony? It must have been after the war.
Maybe I shouldn't have waited so damn long to start tracking him. Trail's gone cold. Gonna wander with these guys a while. They say they wander the area. Maybe somebody's seen Dad.
And this guy's looking for his dad too. Jeez.
These guys aren't who I thought they were. Jesus, they killed that family for a sack of rotten vegetables. Getting out of here next chance.
Oh man, it sounds like he got hung up with the Raiders.
Hit a caravan today. Trev didn't see the kid and got popped. I took care of Tawny right then and put one in Thor before he saw her fall. That earned me some grub from the traders. Even better, they saw Dad. He was in pretty rough shape and still has the goddamn book. Trader says it gave him the creeps. Me too. But it's good to know he's still alive, still headed south.
It's his dad got messed up in
He
this
must have been
first.
trying to trap food here. I recognize his snares. I can make out a building on the horizon. That must be where he headed. If not, at least I get a roof tonight.
And so I found those first 5 in the entryway. This one's the last one I found in this entryway. Man, if he just stopped here, he might have been
Don't like the look of this place. Don't like the smell. Gives me the creeps. Don't want to risk a shot at the crows till I know what's in there. Sneaking in tonight.
Shit, don't do it, dude. What happened now?
The raiders told spook stories about zombies in the ruins. Never saw anything like that where I come from. But Lord help me. They're real. Not quite what Thor said, but close.
It's just ghouls,
These
dude.
things look... I think they really used to be people.
Yeah.
God help me. I found Dad today. I didn't think it was him, but... Face. The zombies didn't touch him. I think he was becoming like them. Didn't know it was him until I found that old book.
What a way to go.
No more killing. I just need to go. Can't forget the book. All I have left of him. It's warm against the stone. I'll just rest a while.
Oh, shit.
Sharp knife. Sharp knife to send him to Deep Temple. Play and say my words. Abdul comes again on the feast of the weaker.
Oh, man.
Feast for the Deep Temple. Born again. Here. Al-Hazared. Yes. Yes.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's not just because these guys are ghouls. There's plenty of good ghouls out there, but oh man, this crazy place. All right, I'm gonna go find those terminals. Maybe if I read them again, that'll help me make sense of all this. I'm going in. Here's the one of those booby trap terminals in here. Why would people do that, man? That's just bizarre. It's just thick. Take something that's supposed to be helpful and turn it into a bomb. That's crazy. All right, so here's this terminal. The thing already hacked this. I don't know if my brain's screwed on straight. All right, so this is Dunwich Boers LLC auto dictation software. 2074 PagSoft. Welcome Herman Granger. Available records in memory. So got a bunch of entries here. One of them just says about auto dictation software. We didn't have that back in the vault. I wonder what that's about. Software version is V223. Configured to user voice H. Granger. Onomatopoeia dictation is off. Phonetic spelling parser is off. Autocorrect on. Okay. 10/18/2077. Coughing. Memo to sales staff. Recognition of an exemplary quarter. Mr. Stathan has authorized me to release sales staff early for the holidays. Unintelligible. It was no easy task to release a new acoustic borer to a market used to conventional bit bore drilling systems, but thanks to your hard work and unintelligible, acoustic bore drills are setting a new standard in the excavation industry. Coughing. Thanks to your many private sales and procurement of government contracts, will all be in the black for the foreseeable future. Happy holidays from Mr. Stathan and Dunwich Boers. Get home to your families. Applause. That was the last nice thing that ever happened to these poor fuckers. In 23/7/2077. Unintelligible. Brrr, boom. Unintelligible. Notice to user. PagSoft LLC recommends against sustained recordings in a low-frequency environment. Continued use in this manager voids all hardware warranties. Auto dictator V223 powering off automatically. I think that was the day the bombs dropped. Maybe that board just went crazy. Unintelligible. Unintelligible. Same warning. Notice to pit user. PagSoft LLC recommends against sustained recordings in a low-frequency environment. Continued use in this manner voids all hardware warranties. Auto dictator V223 powering off automatically. Then, wow. 67 years. 3/27/2134. 57 units, whatever the hell. What the hell was that? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Deep breathing. Where is it? Where? Impact sound. Paper crumple. There. Paper crumple. Safe and sound. Jesus, they bled so much. But I kept it clean. Unintelligible. Shit, more. Got to move. Got to keep it safe. 427, 21, 34. Deep breathing. My skin. Barely any left. One of them now, but they know I still have it. Stay back. Back, you. Deep breathing. That's close enough. Door. You and you. Two. Over there. Yes. One of us. Ugqual Toth is returned. Unintelligible. Oh, man. It's happening. 5-1, 20, 30, 21, 34. Liquid dripping. Ugqual Toth. Unintelligible. Ugqual Toth. I came, back this time. Deep temple, unintelligible. Screaming, twisting, unintelligible. Impact sound. No light, no flesh, unintelligible. Deep temple, born deep temple, died. Ugqual Toth again. Unintelligible, returned, unintelligible. Retribution. Notice to your internal memory capacity reach. Pagsoft LLC recommends PagMem LLC for all your data storage needs. Please contact your administrator for details. That's it. Bit on this one. And I think I found one more terminal. Let me go look. Second level above the other. Welcome to Robco Industries term link. Log in. Password. Dunwich Boards LLC. Just one entry. Data entry. Here I am, trapped in a room by myself, typing on a terminal, trying to keep myself busy. Hell, trying to keep myself sane. I don't know what it is about this place, but I want to get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. I can't even bring myself to open that damn door again. With those things wandering outside, sniffing, screaming, doing whatever they do. When I first got here, I thought the place was abandoned and went around looking for anything to scavenge. 5 minutes later, I'm in this room scared half out of my mind. Things started chasing me. I fired a few shots, missed, and ran through the darkness. Oh, shit. Told old Billy to meet me here and bring me some extra ammo and grenades. That was 3 days ago. Poor guy probably didn't make it too far. Those things better have given him a quick death. Listen to me babbling like a damn. Billy's all right. I'll just stick here until those things go away and meet up with him. What a story I have for him. Oh man, I guess he's just trying to keep his spirits up, but that's brutal. I'm sorry I did this. This didn't help a bit. This place is I got to get out of here. I'm gonna go somewhere normal, like Underworld. Maybe get Greta. Maybe buy a beer from Greta. Maybe one of the ghouls there knows something about this. I don't know. This is Forge signing off, and man, I don't want to come back to this. Oh man. This is
Thank you so much, Pat, for that riveting edition of Fallout Terminal Velocity. If you would like to be a participant in the Fallout Terminal Velocity project, we encourage all of our community members, especially feedback submitters, to hop onto this project. If you'd like to participate, please contact Radioactive Rebecca at Fallout Terminal Velocity at outlook.com. And another benefit of being a part of the Facebook group is you can see the pinned post that has all of our locations sign up there. So if there's any locations you're interested in, pop into the Facebook group, click on the pinned posts, look at the post there, see which locations. Oh, they haven't done this yet. They haven't done that one yet. Oh, those are some of my favorites. Let's go in those locations. It's all up there. Make it nice and easy for scheduling for you and Radioactive Rebecca to please report in from all of the historical and information you find all over the wasteland, be it capital or Commonwealth or what was the desert one? Mojave, whatever those are called. Yeah. So we love to hear from everyone. Thank you for submitting again, Pat. I would like to encourage everyone, please. Pat has done some of our favorite editions of Let's Plays. If you're familiar with his character, Arthur was a big hit. Went through Fallout New Vegas. That can all be found on ASA Let's Play. Please go ahead and check out that feed if you're not familiar yet. If you're just new to the show, please, we have some Let's Play audio characters that have gone. So Victor and Colin have all done them. I did one. And Pat, I guess the best Fallout one that we've done has been Pat. So he's at it again, doing some adventures with his new character Ford over in Fallout 3. So please go check out his Let's Play Fallout submissions over there on the ASA Let's Play feed. Check your podcatchers. It's this whole separate podcast. It's got its own feed, everything. It's very cool. I encourage everyone to go check it out, please. So again, tonight I would like to thank Lee, Ian, Clint, Leon, Will, Eddie, Sarah, Beardy Cy, Craig, and Chris for their audio submissions, and Brian for the email. Thank you for checking in. Pat, thank you for the Fallout Terminal Velocity, and Rebecca for putting the whole project together. Sarah, it's been a pleasure podcasting with you tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get into some Fallout trouble.
Yeah.
Go level up or something. Ray, thanks for hopping on tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Love podcasting with you guys. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable, and we'll see you literally in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
I forgot to mention, you guys check out the Atomic Shop. They got the Unstoppables costumes all there for 800 atoms a piece.
You getting them?
I was saying no because I spent like my yearly budget of atoms on the Christmas bundle, pretty much. But I was thinking, as long as I can save up stuff, then I can do it. But I'm at actually 760, so I can actually get one of those here pretty soon.
Okay.
Adam, it's not Ant-Man. What the? I don't even know what he's called. But there's sort of like a really superhero-y one, with like a little cape and everything. And that one actually looks really, really cool. And
I think you have to have it.
There's like a magician one too. I'm like, that is really silly, but it looks kind of fun.
Do it.
And then there's always the classic. Since I was going melee, and this character even looks like Belle, sort of. I think these two character designs that I've done with Miss Marie and Belle, they kind of look like similar. They could be related characters anyway. But Belle was always in the Grognak, so I I could go the Grognak route as well.
Yeah.
That would look fun. And I hear Grognak's axe is actually a weapon in this game. It's amazing how many of these damn weapons I haven't even found yet or anything.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
All right. Do I have to play the outro again?
No.
All right. Thanks
I
for
think we're
listening.
good.
All right. Night night.